civil rights historian, and he has a new book, Until the Last Gun is Silent, a story of patriotism, the Vietnam War, and the fight to save America's soul. And this is kind of interesting. When I was, learning about this book, I think it's something that we don't talk nearly enough about. But in the middle of the civil rights movement, 300,000 black soldiers were drafted. And how did that affect the civil rights movement? We'll talk to Matthew coming up here at 3:30.
And that whole period of time, Heidi, I don't know how old your parents are, but my parents were, graduating high school
They're right in the middle of it.
Right in the thick of that. What a time to be alive, or maybe what a time to be a young person.
Maybe. But I know that, a lot of struggle, and it depends probably on what color your skin is to, whether that was a good time or a bad time for you.
Or at least just being an observer, watching history like that unfold every night on the news.
But it probably wasn't quite as much as we see things and feel things now, because
it's snail's pace.
Yes, compared to the way our phones are going off and we're getting updates on everything at every second. So anyway, we'll talk about that. We'll also check in with ABC's news deputy political director. A partial government shutdown, how does that affect you and me? Does it? We'll get the latest with that. In the 4 o'clock, we'll check in with Ryan Kroll at St. Louis Magazine on a couple of stories that he's been covering. One of them, and as a city resident, I'm anxious to hear how people are judging the city's job on the snow. Obviously, last year's big snowmageddon might have been the number one cause that Mayor Tashara Jones lost the election. So how did Mayor Spencer and her team do with all the snowfall? We'll also figure out, and I read the headlines and I was trying to dig in a little bit more, but now we have the state-run police board, and they've okayed a pretty significant raise to city police officers, but now the people with the city, including Mayor Spencer, are saying, wait a minute, I don't know that we have this budgeted. Where's this money going to come from? So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll also check in with Alex Stone, this awful story about Savannah Guthrie's mom missing, and we'll get the latest on that. I know that they're saying that her house is now a crime scene, so I don't know if there's any more information coming out about that, but they did talk to a neighbor who said this is a really safe neighborhood. Everybody seems to be in shock of what is happening. But, to all interviews so far, Savannah's mom does have some physical issues, but mentally, no decline there. So we'll get the latest on that story. We'll also check in with Royal Oaks, ABC News legal analyst, and the Epstein document dump. What is actually in it? Could some of this that's not redacted, could some of these materials be hurting some of the victims? I know there's a couple of pictures coming out, one of Prince Andrew, or former Prince Andrew. I don't know.
Yeah, his name is Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. That's his name now.
It's just a pretty gross photo. I can't really bring myself to look at many of those.
Have you seen there are people in other countries who are resigning positions very high up in the government because they were included in the Epstein files? And here's my question. Why are people in other countries resigning, but here in the United States?
Because we just say we didn't do it.
And that's it.
I didn't do anything wrong. And we move forward.
And half of us believe them and the other half don't.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
Other people are going into hiding and shame. And here in the United States, not the case.
Yeah. Let's talk about something that is happier. A longtime St. Louis staple. Just our national recognition for being one of America's most romantic restaurants, just in time for Valentine's Day.
Let me see if I can pick this.
Okay. I will tell you this.
Webster Groves.
No.
Really?
No.
Do you know what I was thinking?
Long time.
You know what I was thinking of?
Cyrano's?
Cyrano's.
Yeah. It's often on those lists. No, this is a great place. And I will say, on our first wedding anniversary, which we share an anniversary with my mom and dad. The four of us all went to this restaurant to celebrate.
Have we talked about this restaurant in the last week?
No.
You and I, off the air.
Mm-mm.
I don't. All right, 84126. Let's give the texters a chance.
Okay.
You tell me, don't tell me the answer, but tell me some of the most romantic restaurants, because I'm thinking Sydney Street is
That's
very
a good one. I do think, what is it
intimate.
about lighting?
Yes.
It's that kind of turn the lights down low.
Lamp lighting.
Yeah, it's so fun. We actually celebrated Valentine's Day yesterday because Marsha's going to be out of town. So we did a whole, kind of movie day. We went to City Winery and had lunch first, which I kind of forget how awesome the Foundry is.
Oh,
All of
my
it. I mean,
gosh.
you've got the food hall, but we wanted to go to City Winery, which is just fantastic. I think Denise Times did a sold-out show last night, and she did the music of Nina Simone. And
Oh, my
talk about
gosh.
a true treasure there. And then we went to see Marty Supreme at Alamo Draft House, which if you have not been to a movie at Alamo Draft House, get there immediately. And I think Tuesday night, it's like $7 tickets.
Really?
Yeah. And of course, you can order food from your seat, and the food's pretty good there as well.
At a regular movie theater, AMC,
Mm-hmm.
Streets of St. Charles, that's where we went. I went with some friends. I might have told you this. We went to go see Zootopia 2. We took Finn and we took one of his little buddies and brought her dad along with us. It was, a group of 6 with 2 kids. And I said, don't worry, I'll get the tickets. You can pay me back later. And then I sent over the bill and I said, this is how much it costs to go to the movies these days on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And he said, Josh, didn't you use the My AMC app or whatever? It's like 50% off.
You got to use the apps.
I don't know.
Josh.
Yeah.
I am completely in the dark when it comes to this. It's like I can't just log in and go and see a movie without it costing $150.
You never joined us in the future.
In the
Right.
future, the present.
In the
I would say
present.
Yeah.
on a Sunday, we did not spend that much money going to a movie.
Going to a movie.
No.
But on Tuesdays, it's $7.
Even cheaper.
$7 Tuesdays.
Yeah. And Marty Supreme, I thought was good, and I can see why Timothée Chalamet is in all of
Getting
the
talked up.
conversations because it's pretty amazing, his role. It's just, and it's based on a true story. And what's so cool about Alamo Draft House, and we'll get back to the romantic restaurants here in a second, but prior to the movie starting, they have a whole reel of the real Marty Supreme with lower thirds telling you what's going on in each situation, which is fantastic, and a little bit about his story.
Does the real Marty Supreme look like Timothée Chalamet?
No,
Okay.
not in my.
Obviously not.
Well, I was watching CBS Sunday Morning,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a piece on Pete Seeger.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, and I think the story was about protest music.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have Pete Seeger talking for about 30 seconds. I had to rewind it. Ed Norton played him in that Timothée Chalamet
Right.
Bob Dylan movie, and I thought I was watching Ed Norton talk. I mean, they did a bang-up job casting
him look.
Pete Seeger and making Ed Norton look just like him. But the story of the real Marty Supreme, I didn't know if it was interesting enough to the listeners and everything. I found a guy who knew the real Marty, wrote a book about the real Marty, came out years ago, but now he's back in the news because of the movie. Would it be interesting to find out, maybe as we cruise into Oscar season?
Well, I was going to say Oscar season or Olympic season because table tennis becomes,
Oh,
and
my
I don't
gosh.
know if that's a summer game or a winter game, but I think that's one of those
Summer.
things when you see somebody who can really play.
Really whack it.
It is crazy. We have a table in our basement, which we haven't been playing at all. And I get spanked by my niece. I'm the worst one in the entire family. So,
Really?
yes.
You didn't improve? I figured you would
Let's
be down there
needle-
hitting against the
Yeah.
wall for.
You know what? I should be.
Let's needle her for that because she really hates not being good at something.
I do hate it.
That's why I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I know.
So
I need to
after
practice.
seeing the actual Marty Supreme movie, do you want to know more about the real guy? I guess is my question.
I got enough of it myself
Okay.
on him.
Somebody said we walked out of the movie. There wasn't a likable character in the whole thing.
is kind of yeah. It's interesting. Somebody said I do like the curated openings for Alamo Draft House. I saw a Nordic movie, and it was all old IKEA commercials and movie previews from Denmark and Sweden. They do a great job.
I like that.
Yeah, they play a lot of old vintage commercials.
I like
before.
that.
And even some of the old, like in honor of Dolly Parton's 80th birthday, they're showing like 9 to 5, which is kind of fun to go back and see that. But back to these romantic restaurants, and everybody has some great comments on here. Hamilton's, it's fantastic. Sydney Street, you're right. Olive and Oak, great one.
Oh, it's my wife's birthday today.
Today?
She's a groundhog.
Happy birthday.
And we just got a gift card to Olive and Oak / Olive and Oak Pizza,
Yeah.
which I don't know if you've been to Olive and Oak Pizza, but it's
Pizza and pasta.
Yes, it's just as good.
Oh, yeah.
It's just as good.
Well, they do a fantastic job. Clover and Bee. I mean, they know what they're doing.
Olive and Oak Pizza has this lobster rigatoni, which might be the best thing I've ever eaten.
I've had that. It is delicious.
Didn't
Yeah.
they bring it in once?
They brought it in.
Yeah,
and it
and
was,
I was like, I told Josh, I was like, they're bringing in that rigatoni you were talking about.
I hunted it
It's
down.
like I saw him
a little
immediately
spicier.
running into the building.
Yeah.
Than
Oh, it's
you
so-
think
yes.
it's going to be.
I came running in with all my bags and everything.
Yeah.
Don't eat it all.
Leave me a bite. Somebody says Giovanni's was romantic. Basso
Giovanni's.
is a good one. Charcoal House. Are you ready?
Basso.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do love Basso. Are you ready for the only restaurant in Missouri to make the list this year?
And who came up with this list?
This is a ranking from Open Table,
Okay, Open Table.
and this is one of the 100 most romantic restaurants in the country.
It's not in Kansas City. It's in St. Louis.
It's in St. Louis.
Drum roll. The answer is?
Charlie Gito's on the Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
It does have a great vibe. You know, the patio, not this time of year, is also really kind of fun. You're right there, and you get the vibe of the hill. Florida, surprisingly, led all states this year in rankings with the most restaurants on the list. That's followed by, of course, California, Ohio. But Charlie Gito's being the reason St. Louis made the list. It's one of those places you probably need to make a reservation. But
We went
fantastic.
To the Gitos at the casino, Hollywood Casino, for my mom's
Oh, yeah, you went
birthday.
at like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, it was my mom's birthday, and she's 75, and that's when 75-year-olds eat, right?
I don't know. Of course, they have toasted ravioli and the handmade pastas and other traditional Italian American entrees, but the steaks are just so good. You can't go wrong with that.
My brother and my nephew got steaks.
Yeah.
I got the veal parmesan. Oh, it's so good. Do not think about veal and what that is.
No.
Ooh.
Oh, somebody said Paul Mano's, which I have never been to
You
Paul Mano's,
haven't?
and I have got to go. It's been on my list for, I swear, the last year.
I mean, located in a strip mall at Olive and 141, completely unassuming.
But
once you walk in,
there are some fantastic restaurants like that were hidden kind of, away.
when I pulled up, I said, "This place?"
Yeah.
And then I went inside.
And you were like, holy.
And then I was like, "This
cow.
place. This place."
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the place that was off Hampton. And I know Rosa, who used to be there, it was her brother's restaurant, and she just got named Bartender of the Year by the Restaurant Association. And they had a fantastic chicken spadini. It's no longer there.
Where was it? It was on Hampton.
It was on Hampton, same thing, in a little,
Which strip mall on Hampton?
kind of
So like pretty south on Hampton then.
pretty south on Hampton before you get to Chippewa.
Before you get to Chippewa.
Yeah, in that area, not far from. Is that another Tillis Park right there?
Yeah, it's the other Tillis
it's in
Park.
that, yeah, in that area. What is the
Two
name
Tillis Parks,
of it? I know you guys will help me out, but that used to be my go-to. It was so good.
Huh.
And
it's
they
not
moved.
it's not around anymore, is
It's
it?
not around, and
What
prior.
is there?
I don't
What's
think
in
I don't
there?
even know if there's the strip mall there anymore.
I
Where's
think
the
there
other
still
Tillis Park?
is.
Because I'm over by this other Tillis Park
Yeah.
pretty frequently, and I don't remember seeing one.
Somebody said, "Are you talking about Geno's?" No.
We'll do some
see.
digging.
I will do some digging and I'll find
Why
it.
are
but-
there two Tillis Parks?
It's an excellent question.
And who is this Tillis? And,
Well,
and
there's-
it's like they're pretty close
They're
to
not
each
that
other.
far.
They're
No,
not
but I
far
will
enough.
say I did do a Hey Heidi on a similar topic. Why we have two O'Fallons so close
Oh,
together.
O'Fallon Mo and O'Fallon, Illinois.
And it was a person, and I think he had something to do with railroads, and that's why, we had two so close together. So I'm sure there is a reason that we have two Tillis parks, and
I gotta
we can
say,
dig into it.
You could get from one to the other in 10 minutes.
It's on
an easy day.
I've done that.
On an easy day.
It's more than that. But,
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Brazzies! I knew you guys would do it. Yes, Brazzies. 2 or 3 people said Brazzies. He moved from Hampton to Watson and then closed. You are right. Thank you. Oh, it was every single thing on that menu was fantastic. I miss it very much.
So George Mahey, a friend of the show, listens often. I think he listens to us more than he listens to Carney.
Well, let's not say
he's
that.
He's on Carney's show every Tuesday. He just sent me an article from a couple years ago, but not only the most romantic restaurants, but the most romantic tables in these
now I do like
restaurants.
That. Okay.
And so he's got, and some of these, like I said, this article is older, but at Basso, back corner booths, number 15 and number 45. So you go to the wait staff and you say, hey,
this is what I want.
Is number 45 available? And they'll tell you, or you can call them and say, I want to reserve 15 and 45. The Brasserie, tables 1, 7, and 10. So this is a great resource.
It sure is.
Charlie Gito's on the Hill, which is on your page over there.
Mm-hmm.
Get the Gito's booth, the corner booth.
Ooh.
And I think that's the one in the bar. If you're going to Gito's on the Hill, eat in the bar.
Yeah, it's such a fun place. It's a great place. Yeah, you guys keep texting us your favorite romantic restaurant as we get close to Valentine's Day. Of course, you could always just go have a romantic dinner any day of the week, but Valentine's Day is coming up, so mark that on your calendar. You guys know what we have coming up, and hopefully you'll hang out with us here. Be a part of the show on the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis. All right, 328. Captain Paul, how's traffic moving along?
Heidi, not too bad. 55 South is running a bit slow and stop and go at times at 4500 South Broadway. And the signals are on flash at North Lindbergh and St. Jean in Florissant. Otherwise, we have no other issues on the roads. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
I mean, let's be honest, you can make any spot, even in your own home, romantic. I often say one of the most romantic places we have is in our RV. Because, you decorate just like you do a house. In the RV, you can take and all of a sudden you open up the windows and you're looking at a lake, if that's something that does it for you.
There's nothing more romantic than being on vacation.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so then throw in that it is your own little home away from home. You've got whatever candles you want. That's what RVing is, at least to us. Now, what's really cool and what Byerly RV knows is RVing can be whatever it is that you want it to be. Maybe you want to be more rugged and you just want that RV to kind of be a place to rest your head so that you can go and hike and fish and all of those things. Byerly RV has something for you. Or maybe you are an avid hunter and this is a great place for you to stay. However, you might want to do something a little fancier. And I'm going to tell you, you will find it at Byerly RV. There are RVs that even have heated floors. They have full washer and dryers and your residential size fridge, even wine coolers. Somebody was joking over the weekend, and I was on like this text chain, and they said, don't tell Heidi the RV show's going on. Because, we ended up buying 2 RVs at an RV show. And I'm like, one of the other people said, I'm in if it has a wine cellar. And I don't remember what the other thing was. And I'm like, they have both. You can find anything you want. I mean, if you're into movies and TV, we're talking massive TV screens that will lift out of the kind of what am I trying to say here? The kind of behind the shelves. And all of a sudden, like, it'll go down when maybe you're traveling, and then all of a sudden it lifts up with the touch of a button.
Hide the TV.
Yes. Some of them have shades and blinds that you close with a button. But again, it's whatever you want. Byerly RV has so many different options. They have more than 30 brands of new RVs in stock. We're talking travel trailers, fifth wheels, camper vans, gas and diesel motorhomes. But then they also have a great selection of used inventory, which means now is a fantastic time to buy because they still have some of those show prices because they want to get rid of all the 2025s. They got to make room for the new 2026s. So check out ByerlyRV.com for some fantastic deals. And right now, there's also deals if you buy, maybe you get storage for 2 or 3 months, or maybe you get, rolls and rolls of the RV toilet paper and different things that you need to get started. Byerly RV is going to take care of all of it. And then as time goes, don't forget Byerly RV has a fantastic service department as well. ByerlyRV.com, or swing by the dealership there in Eureka at 109 and 44.
For all of your travel needs, you go to the best travel agency in the world. Granted, I'm a little biased. Altair Travel and Cruises. They'll take you wherever you want to go in style. They'll handle all the details. You handle all the fun. Don't go to the Googles. Don't make that mistake. It all starts at Altair Travel and Cruises on Brentwood Boulevard, 314-968-9600. Anywhere you want to go, let Altair Travel take you. AltairTravel.com.
Before you put your home on the market, before you have to pay money fixing it up to sell it, before you have to pay real estate commissions, call me. I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I will buy your home. Any property, any condition, anywhere, and always as is. Call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. You have nothing to lose when you call Robank Properties at 314-283-0867.
When you go and get your car washed, do you really care which car wash you go to? Yes, because not all car washes are created equal. Country Club Car Wash is the local family-owned and family-operated car wash since 1989. All these other ones that are popping up, they're all run by out-of-town hedge funds. Keep it local. Keep it great. Touchless car washes, no brushes, inside and out. 5 area locations, Country Club Car Wash, or cccwstl.com.
The final stretch of your career isn't about slowing down. It's about getting strategic. Those last 5 years before retirement can define your financial future, from maximizing contributions and paying off high-interest debt to mapping out health care and testing your post-retirement budget. This is your moment to take control. At Pioneer Wealth Management, we help you connect all the moving parts. Real peace of mind starts long before your final paycheck. Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Pioneer Wealth Management and Creative One Wealth are unaffiliated. Life insurance professional. Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal.
Hey, it's Heidi, and if the new year means a new look for your home, look no further than Dalco Home Remodeling. Let me just tell you, customers could not be happier. If you're looking for new windows, Dalco Home Remodeling has you covered. If you're looking for a new door, they can custom make you a front door. They can do French doors, they can do sliding doors, and they can stain it or paint it to whatever you have going on or whatever new color you want to add. Let me just tell you about some of the happy clients. You've got Alex, who said, I had Dalco replace several windows and doors on one of my properties, did a top quality job for me, would definitely recommend. And he's just one of many. You know, Dalco Home Remodeling has been around for more than 50 years. They are family owned and family operated. So if you're ready to get your dream project underway, go to DalcoHomeRemodeling.com. You can also give them a call at 314-298-7300.
Now it's time for the KTRS Book Club.
It's called reading. Top to bottom, left to right. Group words together as a sentence.
Powered each week by the St. Louis County Library on the Big 550.
Well, you see, I spell them like they sound, you know.
KTRS.
Well, I think we all agree one of our favorite things here is chatting with authors. And tonight, civil rights historian and award-winning author Matthew Delmont will be discussing his new book, Until the Last Gun is Silent, at the Clark Family Branch of the St. Louis County Library. But first, we are so honored to have him here with us. Thank you for making time for us. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So I think this is something we don't talk nearly enough about, and I'm not even sure I was taught about it in high school. In the middle of the civil rights movement, more than 300,000 black troops were drafted and sent to Vietnam. I mean, how did this actually affect the civil rights movement?
It was a real point of tension between the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement. One of the key characters I feature in my new book is Coretta Scott King, the wife and widow of Martin Luther King Jr.
Which obviously we all know a little bit about her, but I don't know that we know her role at this moment.
One of the things I emphasize is that she was one of the leading anti-war figures in the era, and she really deserves credit for helping to push not just her husband, Martin, but the entire civil rights movement to stand up more strongly against the war. But it was dangerous because it was considered almost treasonous to be opposed to the war in that era. And so for a lot of civil rights leaders, they were concerned that they were going to lose the support of President Johnson if they stood up against the war.
Yeah, I mean, that is a really fine line to walk. And she's credited with kind of pulling her husband on board, right?
Absolutely. She's one of the first people to be out publicly against the war. She travels to Geneva in 1962, is campaigning against nuclear arms. She gives a major speech at Madison Square Garden in New York City in 1965, before most civil rights figures are willing to speak out. And then she's cajoling him. I mean, they have these conversations, these debates over the kitchen table, and she's really pushing him to finally speak out against the war.
Which I think maybe we don't give her enough credit for that.
Absolutely. She's a tremendously important figure, both in the history of civil rights, but particularly in the peace movement.
And it's kind of scary. You mentioned it. We'll touch on it a little bit more. But for a black person in the 1960s to speak out against the Vietnam War jeopardizes the fight that they're having on this other front domestically when it comes to civil rights. But I had mentioned to Heidi, you've got the Vietnam War, you've got the civil rights movement, you've got the women's liberation movement. This is all happening in the late 60s. Is this, am I missing something, or was this a powder keg? Have we ever been through an era in history where all of these things converged at once, or did they converge at once? Am I just making a 5-year stretch or maybe even a 10-year stretch boiled down into one?
No, you're right. I mean, this is a period of tremendous social transformation in the country. And I think one of the things that we remember how it's taught in high school, it kind of all comes in 1 week, right? So this happens, this happens, this happens. But when you try to do it as a historian, you're trying to kind of lay out who influenced who, why was it important for people to stand up when they did, and why did it take so long to organize people to demand change. And so when you look at the civil rights movement and the peace movement, for example, the civil rights movement didn't just start overnight, right? It took decades and decades for people to organize at the grassroots level. Those were often different organizers than the people who were organizing against the war. And one of the things Coretta Scott King did was she was a bridge. She helped to make those connections between the two movements. And one of the things I describe in my book is she made it possible for people to be bold together. Most people aren't willing to attend street protests. They're not willing to sort of get up and speak out against their own government, to challenge congressmen, challenge politicians. But seeing someone like her with the kind of gravitas that she had, she made it possible for average men and women across all these different demographic lines to really challenge the country, to confront the real costs of the war.
Yeah, we're talking to civil rights historian and award-winning author Matthew Delmont, who you can hear more from later tonight at the Clark Family Branch. You also write about another hero. Tell us the story of Dwight Skip Johnson.
So Dwight Johnson was one of the men who served in the Vietnam War. As I was thinking about how to put together this story to talk about the history of the Vietnam War era, I knew I wanted to focus on a soldier story. Dwight Johnson earned the Medal of Honor. He was a young man from Detroit, a working class black American from Detroit, grew up in the Jeffries Projects. He was drafted when he was just 19 years old. So he was very indicative of what it meant to serve in the Vietnam War. He was served in a armor unit. He was a tank driver, served in the 69th Armor Division, was there almost a full year. In January of 1968, his tank battalion got caught in an ambush, and he helped to fight his way out of it. He was doing just kind of heroic, amazing acts, jumped out of the tank, grabbed whatever weapons he had available to him to fight off the Vietnamese soldiers, helped to save the lives of a half dozen men in his unit.
Wow.
And for that, he was awarded the Medal of Honor. But in the book, I tell his story, both the heroism, but also he had a kind of tragic ending. When he came back to the United States, he wanted to be able to go to college, wanted to be able to become a computer programmer, but for a young black man in 1968, that just wasn't in the cards. Instead, he became a recruiter for the Army, but he struggled, like so many veterans did, with PTSD. And he was tragically killed in an armed robbery attempt in 1971. But he's actually one of the first veterans to be diagnosed with PTSD. They called it post-Vietnam syndrome at the time.
Really?
And so the psychologists who helped to pioneer that treatment, they were pointing to his story. They were describing Skip Johnson in speeches all across the country saying, look, we have to pay attention to what these veterans are dealing with.
And I'm going to say preferential treatment, knowing what you just said, he was forced to go into a line of work he didn't want to do because he wasn't offered the opportunities. But winning the Medal of, was it the Medal of Honor?
Medal of Honor, yeah.
Winning the Medal of Honor, did that open doors for him when it came to saying, hey, let's study this guy for PTSD?
It opened doors for him in terms of being celebrated at banquets and by all the main businesses in Detroit. So everyone wanted him at their table. Right? He was sort of celebrating that first year.
But not as a computer programmer.
Not as a computer programmer. No,
Yeah.
it didn't get any sort of financial windfall from it, and didn't open doors in terms of the things he actually wanted to pursue. The Army was very happy to sort of trot out Dwight Johnson in his military uniform, particularly in the late 60s, having a black hero in this way. It was really viewed as a sign of unity. They were hoping to kind of bring together the country in that moment.
Do we know if he felt used in that moment?
So the big breakthrough for me in telling the story was being able to interview his widow, Katrina, and she described what he was going through. I have some material from what he spoke about himself because he gave interviews to different newspapers, but she really opened up the entire story for me. He did feel used. He felt like it was a dog and pony show.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And one of my goals in writing the book was to try to tell his whole story. And so I talk about how Katrina and Skip fell in love, that they dated before he went to Vietnam. They fell in love by exchanging letters when he was deployed. And then they got married when he came back. They had a young son. And when Skip was killed, Katrina was just 21. She was a 21-year-old widow. Their son was a year and a half. And so one of the points I try to make in the book is talking about the costs of war, not just the economic costs, but the toll that it took on the people who served in the war, but also their family members, those who lost loved ones in Vietnam.
Was Vietnam the first war that African-American troops weren't segregated?
It was. My last book was on World War II. It was called Half American. And the big story there was the U.S. military was entirely racially segregated throughout World War II. In 1948, President Truman signs an executive order that begins the desegregation of the military. During the Korean War, that's kind of piecemeal. You have units, some are integrated, some are not. But by Vietnam, the military is rightfully patting themselves on the back as the most integrated organization in American society.
How about that? So was it, though?
It was. I mean, there's kind of two sides of the story. The military absolutely deserved credit for the steps they took to integrate. I'd say the military was much further along in the 1960s than corporate America, than most universities were, in part because they had to be, to sort of think about what it meant to bring together this diverse group of Americans. But still, a lot of black troops described the kind of day-to-day tenor of racism that they encountered, particularly after Martin Luther King was assassinated. They described cross burnings, KKK references, Confederate flags at bases.
Even among their own troops.
Even among their own troops. And there's no single story here, so I think a story that all veterans would tell across racial lines is once they were in combat, there was a sense of working together. And so the kind of racial animosity fell by the wayside. People really did band together. But when things calmed down, they got back to base, that's when you'd see the racism and
come back up.
Sliding
back 20 years to World War II, since you wrote the book on it, what was life like as a serviceman in a black unit versus a white unit? Was it Jim Crow, separate but equal? What was it really like?
It was the treatment that black troops described in World War II was often horrific.
Oh my gosh!
Even when they were training here in the United States, at military bases in Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia, they would describe feeling like they feared for their lives. Here in the U.S., they felt like they'd feel safer once they deployed to the European theater or the Pacific theater. And so the story I tell in that book is about the tremendous resilience and heroism that black Americans, more than 1 million black Americans, served in World War II. They gave everything they could to help America and the Allies win the war, and played a tremendously important role in terms of logistics and supplies, all in the face of this kind of relentless onslaught of racism in military service.
Were their commanding officers white?
It was a mix. Yeah. There were some black officers, but most of the officers for these black units were white. And it was there's a spectrum. There were some white officers who treated their troops with great respect. There's a tank battalion called the 761st Black Panther Tank Battalion under the command of a white officer from Los Angeles. And those black men described how proud they were to fight for him because they knew that he had their back. On the other end of the spectrum, you had some white officers who were explicitly racist, who would call the men by boy, by first name rather than rank, by racial epithets. And it just was not befitting of men and women who were risking their lives to defend our country.
Absolutely. What do you hope people take from your latest book, The Last Gun is Silent, Until the Last Gun is Silent?
So it's a story about patriotism and dissent. And so I hope that people take from this book that those things are intertwined. I think the reality of certainly Black American history, but I think American history more broadly, is that patriotism and dissent are often together. I think we're in a space right now where it seems like they're opposite poles. Like you can only love the country and never be critical, or you can only be critical and never love the country. That's not the reality of how most people live their lives. It's certainly not the reality of how people during the Vietnam War era lived their lives.
Was the civil rights fight in the 60s successful? And was the anti-Vietnam movement successful?
They were both successful in their ways. So for civil rights, it was absolutely successful in terms of breaking down and ending formal Jim Crow legal segregation, passing some key legislation that for decades really helped to improve equal opportunity for not just Black Americans, but for all Americans. I think we've seen the tide roll back on that some in the last year or so. And then the anti-war movement was absolutely successful. It took a long time for it to gain enough momentum to get politicians to actually end the war.
I mean, it's 1975.
1975
is when the war ended officially.
It was key to getting it to end, but it was also key to getting President Nixon to keep drawing down troops. So I think both President Johnson and then President Nixon were keenly aware of the kind of protests they were seeing in the streets. And so seeing someone like Coretta Scott King lead those protests, it didn't mean that the war was going to end immediately, but it meant that they had to be cautious about what tactics they used and then trying to draw down troops.
Well, as you point out, I mean, the timing couldn't be better because I think a lot of people wonder, is walking through these streets protesting in places like Minneapolis right now, does that pay off? And what I'm hearing is it does and can.
Absolutely. I mean, we were talking earlier, my hometown's Minneapolis, and so I'm obviously following the news from there closely. The book at its core is about fighting for one's country, right? Not just in the strict military sense that Skip Johnson did, but Coretta Scott King absolutely fought for her country. She believed that there was a better version of America that could be, and I think we see similar things today. People are fighting for a version of the country they can be proud of.
Absolutely. Well, you can hear more from Matthew Delmont tonight at 7 at the Clark Family Branch. The doors open at 6. You can purchase his book, Until the Last Gun is Silent, A Story of Patriotism, the Vietnam War, and the Fight to Save America's Soul, wherever books are sold. Thank you so much for stopping by. We've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You've had all these great ideas about what to do with your outside space. Now's the time to take the next step and call Outdoor Living, because Pat Leahy and the gang at Outdoor Living have built a showroom, which is a great resource for you. You can go in and see all the products they have, the composite decking, the metal framing. You see, at Outdoor Living, what they pride themselves on is building it right the first time and never having to worry about it again. So they build it. You can enjoy it for the rest of your life. Outdoor Living, their showroom on Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood, is a great resource for you. You can go and see all the different ways and all the different things they can do. Then they'll come out, they'll do a site visit, and in just a few short weeks, you will have the dream deck, fence, gazebo, pergola, whatever it may be. Outdoor Living, right there in Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood. 314-966-3325 or OutdoorLivingInc.com. Check out the showroom and take that next step. You'll love it. Outdoor Living or OutdoorLivingInc.com.
Gelmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Gelmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deal.
Thanks, Farmer Dave. I'm combating wintertime blues by purchasing cool cars and motorcycles. Do you have a unique, low-mile, or super clean car you'd like to sell? Call me. I'm looking for Corvettes, Mustangs, Camaros, Harleys, Ducatis, Porsches, or anything super low-mile and super clean. Even everyday cars if they're exceptionally nice and well cared for. I'll come to you if you're in the St. Louis area, especially if you have more than one vehicle to sell. It's okay if you have a loan on it. We'll make the payoff. We make it easy. Hop on our site and submit your vehicle. We'll take it from there.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars, Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
Are you prepared to take advantage of all the new changes in the tax law this year? Hi, I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group, and the author of the #1 best-selling book on taxes, Keep What's Yours. This year, we're celebrating 50 years helping area businesses get their financial plans in order, reduce their tax liability, and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. I'm also launching my newest book, Keeping What's Yours, the Strategic Tax Planning Guide for the One Big Beautiful Bill. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act made permanent many of the tax rules from the Tax and Jobs Act signed into law in 2017, but also added many new benefits to both businesses and households. My new book, Keeping What's Yours, the Strategic Tax Planning Guide for the One Big Beautiful Bill, outlines the details. Get your copy today at capitaladvisorygrp.com or find it on Amazon.
It's about 8 minutes before 4 o'clock. Captain Paul, how's traffic moving along?
Heidi, there's a crash on 55 South at Rivas Barracks, blocking the two left lanes with a slowdown back to Union. The estimated clearance time is 4:30. We have a crash on 64 East past Mason, and 64 West is crowded in front of Forest Park, and from 364 to the 6470 interchange. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. The Rack House has made Whiskey Advocate magazine's top whiskey bars in the country list for the third time. The Rack House in Cottleville averages over 300 whiskey, bourbon, and Scotch selections on its menu. The Rack House, featuring upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Looks like the partial government shutdown could go on for longer than expected. Ben Siegel, ABC News Deputy Political Director in Washington, joins us with the latest. Who's really affected by this partial government shutdown?
Well, the good thing is this is far more limited in scope than the shutdown we saw last year that went for 43 days. Right now, most of the people who would be impacted, people who work for the military, civilians and service members, most of them are considered essential and they will work. This will once again affect agents at TSA and air traffic controllers. But if this is wrapped up by the end of the week, that, the damage for this, the missed paychecks, may not be as far-reaching as it was the last time. So the big question will be, can Congress get this done by the end of the week? The House is now taking this up, and they will vote tomorrow.
All right, so I'm confused. There were 6 bills here to fund the government. Yes. Did they pass the other 5 and then just peel the one that has Homeland Security out?
Yeah, so the thing to keep in mind is that if any chamber changes something before they vote, it has to go back to the other chamber to vote on it again. So what the Senate did in stripping out the DHS funding, the immigration funding that Democrats are pushing back on, they substituted that for basically a stopgap measure for 2 weeks while they continue negotiating potential limits or restraints on federal immigration agents on ICE. So that stopgap changed the bill, and now it is back in the House. The House has to sign off on this new configuration of these 5 bills and then a stopgap measure for the Department of Homeland Security. So because that was not passed by the House, that is why you have this partial government shutdown.
And so that is what has to happen to move forward and reopen everything.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a two-step right now. The first step is approving this plan to keep negotiating basically over the DHS funding. And Republicans are sort of at odds right now over this because Democrats don't want to fund ICE. They don't want to keep negotiating. They don't want to help them. So you actually saw the president just a couple minutes ago post on social media urging all Republicans to support this bill, clearly using the bully pulpit. So the big hurdle now is on the right. And if Speaker Johnson can clear that hurdle, and the government will be funded. This partial shutdown lasting a couple days will be over, and they can continue negotiating these bigger questions about what sort of limits, if any, should be on some funds for ICE agents, for federal agents after some of these shootings.
So let me ask you this. Last week, after the shooting of Alex Preddy and the painting of him, the smearing of him, actually, as being a crazed assassin, President Trump kept his distance. And it almost seemed like they were going to kind of make this deal and say, you know what, the temperature's really hot up there. Let's pull back a little bit. And then this second video of him from a few days before kicking the car, then Trump posts this thing and says the guy is a lunatic or something. Where are we at when it comes to the temperature in Minneapolis and trying to make some real actual changes in Congress about how we're policing or we're doing the immigration stuff?
Well, the rhetoric is still, at a high volume, at a high frequency here. That hasn't really changed. The negotiating over changes to the way that these agents are conducting themselves, that can't happen until the government is funded. So I expect those conversations are actually probably underway right now among Democrats themselves, among Democrats and Republicans, especially in the Senate, where a lot of these deals tend to start. And we know on the grounds in Minneapolis that border czar Tom Homan has been dispatched by the president to sort of run the operation there. He, has been maligned by Democrats, questioned for his alleged acceptance of a bribe in a corruption investigation a couple of years ago. Despite all that, this is someone who has extensive experience running immigration efforts for several administrations, including the Obama administration. So this is somebody who has a bit more respect, has the gravitas to maybe tone down the temperature. So you're starting to see part of that in the way these agents are deployed. But of course, Democratic Governor Tim Walz, other leaders in Minneapolis, they want these agents out of the city, out of the state. So a lot of conversation happening. In some ways, the temperature has been lowered. In other ways, it is right where it has been. But this is all sort of coming to a head on the Hill this week. And the question will be, can this momentum continue to maybe get everybody to a place where they can agree to some changes that will satisfy all sides in this debate?
Yeah, and I guess the rest of us just wait and see, as we often do. Ben Siegel, ABC News Deputy Political Director in Washington, thank you so much.
Thanks.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA-certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
Got gold? Get green at Jewels on Hampton. Jewels on Hampton pays the most for your precious metals, jewelry, gems, currency, antiques, and collectibles. Jewels on Hampton buys precious and semi-precious gems and stones, scrap gold, and sterling silver. Jewels on Hampton buys and sells paper money, wristwatches, and pocket watches. They even take pianos and cars. To sum up, bring your gold chains, bracelets, rings, coins, dental gold, and more to Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton Avenue in St. Louis. And get green. Online at jewelsonhampton.com.
It's the half-price sale at Miller Furniture and Mattress, going on now through February 18th.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. Right now, save half off our list price on all in-stock items. Plus, half off custom orders on Flex Steel, Smith Brothers, Amish-made furniture, and more. Plus, get 60 months special financing.
Right now, take half off any Chatham & Wells mattress when you purchase an adjustable base. Plus, up to $800 off select adjustable mattress sets from Stearns & Foster and Tempur-Pedic.
For every mattress sold, Miller will donate a bike helmet to Helmets First to keep St. Louis kids safe. Hurry in and try out Flex Steel's newest custom comfort sofas and lift chairs and the largest selection of Amish-made furniture. Visit any of our 4 locations in Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, or Ellisville. Don't miss the half-price sale at Miller Furniture now through February 18th. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File in the Credit Karma app.
This is
where St. Louis comes to talk.
What number do you want?
The big 550.
KTRS.
St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A number of Jeffrey Epstein's victims say the Justice Department did not redact their names and images in the recent release of Epstein files. ABC's Jay O'Brien has more.
Attorneys representing more than 200 Epstein victims have written a letter to two different federal judges in New York trying to get them to order the Department of Justice to take down its portal that has released these millions of pages of Epstein files, saying that there is a, quote, in their words, unfolding emergency, contending that the DOJ has failed to redact the names of a number of Epstein victims.
One judge based in New York set a conference between the parties for Wednesday. The House Rules Committee meeting this hour on a spending package aimed at ending the government shutdown. Democrats are pushing for changes to immigration operations before they approve DHS funding. In Arizona, authorities say the weekend disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, the mother of NBC Today anchor Savannah Guthrie, is considered suspicious.
Nancy Guthrie did not just walk away from her home, according to Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos. He says there is evidence she was taken from her home, that she can't get around well on her own, and that there is evidence at the scene of a crime.
She did not leave on her own. We know that.
He says it's unknown right now if Nancy Guthrie was targeted because she's a mother of Savannah. The FBI is helping look for Guthrie. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Winter's wrath targeted the Carolinas this weekend in a rare whiteout storm. ABC's Ginger Z has more.
We knew it was going to be a big snowstorm for North Carolina, and boy, was it. The Outer Banks, nearly 20 inches, and back to the mountains, you had some places getting that. Charlotte had 11 inches. That was their third snowiest day on record. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, had a half foot.
And more snow could be on the way. On this Groundhog's Day, Punxsutawney Phil and Staten Island Chuck both saw their shadows, signaling 6 more weeks of winter. You're listening to ABC News.
Sure, AAA are the folks who can get you back on the road when you have a flat tire. They can also provide quality and affordable home and auto insurance. But when you think of AAA, think of this too, AAA Travel. Hi, it's Julie Buck, and AAA Travel is ready to plan your next trip or vacation. And you don't have to be a member to enjoy their services. Of course, membership does have its privileges. To find a AAA advisor near you, just visit AAA.com/travel. Remember, the internet is for looking. AAA.com/travel is for booking.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
This is KTRS News. I'm Sobe Bay. A man is dead after an officer-involved shooting involving St. Louis County Police. Police say this all unfolded late last night when officers responded to a report of shots fired along Lucas and Hunt in North County. Police learned of a vehicle possibly involved in the shooting and attempted to make a traffic stop. That's when police say the driver took off, prompting a police chase. The chase ended in North St. Louis City, in the area of 2nd and East Grand, where the suspect was forced to stop because of a passing train. That's when police say the suspect exited the vehicle and pulled out a weapon. Police say officers then fired their weapons, striking the suspect. St. Louis County Police Chief Kenneth Gregory had this to say about what happened.
Can't say enough about the hard work and bravery of the officers that were involved in this incident. Unfortunately, things like this happen in this line of work. Unfortunately, there was a loss of life in this event. Thankfully, our officers were doing okay. They were all fine. So again, I just want to, thank them for the hard work that they did.
All 5 St. Louis County police officers involved in the shooting have been placed on leave, which is standard procedure in a shooting. Another death is reported at the St. Louis City Justice Center. Police say 32-year-old Demetria McDowell was found unresponsive in her cell on Saturday afternoon. She was rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer released a statement which reads, "My office was saddened to learn about the death of Demetria McDowell. My office and I extend condolences to her friends, family, and loved ones." McDowell's death is being investigated by the St. Louis Police Department's Force Investigation Unit. A Missouri Democratic lawmaker has introduced legislation that would force ICE agents to show their faces while on duty. Representative Ray Reed's bill specifically bans ICE agents from wearing facial coverings that conceal or obscure their identities during operations. A new report details health challenges for the homeless in Illinois. KTRS's Jill Enders has the story.
Those experiencing homelessness in Illinois face significant health challenges and are more likely to face emergency department visits, hospitalizations, and premature death. That's according to a new report from the Illinois Department of Public Health, which examined data from 2017 to 2023, including death certificates, hospital records, and the results of the annual point-in-time count of unhoused individuals conducted each year around the country on a night in January. The study finds that overall, approximately 10,000 people in Illinois during that time frame experienced literal homelessness, where they had no sufficient shelter at all, while potentially more than 200,000 people were in unstable housing situations, living temporarily with family and friends. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. The St. Louis Police Department and the St. Louis Police Officers Association signed a new collective bargaining agreement. It includes a 7% pay raise for police officers and sergeants and raises the starting salary for new police officers. Under the finalized agreement, an officer with 2 years of service will earn just over $64,000 annually. That's up from nearly $60,000. The pay increase will be allocated through the St. Louis Police Department's operating budget. And now this look at the markets brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings 9 to 11. Wall Street at the close. Dow Jones finished up 515 to close out at 49,407. NASDAQ up 130 to close at 23,592. S&P 500 up 37 to 6,976. Now let's check sports and traffic with Captain Paul Kopsky.
So be the Blues are in Nashville this evening to begin a quick road trip before the Olympic break. The Note closed out the month of January with 5 wins and 9 losses. And Mizzou basketball picked up a much-needed 84-79 win at home over Mississippi State. The Tigers now enter the bye week holding on to a 5-4 record in the SEC. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. There's a crash on 70 East past 270 with a stop-and-go jam back to 141. We have an accident on 55 South at Rivas Barracks blocking the 2 left lanes with a slowdown back to Union. We have a crash on 64 East past Mason and another on 44 West at Bowles. And 64 West is crowded from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to the 6470 interchange. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Captain Paul. KTRS weather. We are above freezing for the first time in 11 days. Clouds have cleared, sun shining, high today of 40. Tonight, clouds return, an overnight low of 24. Tomorrow, small chance of flurries, then partly sunny, high of 35. Right now, 40 beautiful degrees. The time is 4:09. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Scott, remember when the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Pile were flying around the arch selling flooring?
Andrea, that was the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Tile.
Oh, that's right. But we don't need shtick here at Best Buy Flooring.
That's right, because our in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile are already at low, low prices.
Come see us at our 3 area locations, North County, South County, and Metro East. Open 7 days a week.
Plus, free financing on approved credit. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Elevate your home with stunning lighting from Metro Lighting.
Shopping for a gorgeous chandelier for your dining room?
Need a new table lamp?
Or lighting your entire dream home?
Our certified lighting specialists are here to help.
Locally owned with 6 convenient locations.
An amazing selection of lighting for any style and budget.
And all at the guaranteed best price.
And did you know?
Metro Lighting is a great source for furniture, art, and home decor too.
Metro Lighting.
Full of bright ideas for your home.
Your dentures no longer fit? Maybe you're missing a tooth or several teeth. Visit Dr. Bowen for Simply Secure Dentures and Dental Implants. The cutting-edge, high-quality dental implants that replace all the teeth in your mouth, and it starts as low as $7,000, not the $35,000 that others charge. If you're only missing a few teeth, Dr. Bowen can permanently replace those with something you don't have to take in and out of your mouth. Learn more at simplysecuredentures.com and get the care you need and the teeth you want at Bowen Dental Care or simplysecuredentures.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our headlines for this Monday afternoon, February 2nd, St. Louis Bread Company closes at the St. Louis Galleria. Did you know this?
Wait, where? Oh, it's upstairs. You can get to it from outside.
Yeah, no, it's on the first floor.
No, the
right
first
there.
floor, yeah.
Yeah. So the Galleria's location first opened in 1993. The spot closed January 24th after operating for a better part of 32 years. Exterior signage has been removed and a notice posted in the window reads, "Sorry, we're closed. The cafe has permanently closed its doors." The nearest bread company location is about 3/4 of a mile south at 1909 South Brentwood in Brentwood Square. I can't imagine those competed, though.
That's what I was going to. No, they definitely did, though, Heidi.
You
I used
think
to
so?
live. I mean, it's less than a mile away.
I just think I thought it was more for people
in the mall.
In the mall, as far as that
Yeah.
goes. I mean, that was always my go-to. The closure is the latest in a wave of restaurant shutdowns this month, bringing the total to 16. Now, in better news, Wasabi Sushi Bar is expanding into a fast casual space, Wasabi Express. Wasabi Express will open at 309 Clarkson Road in Ellisville later this year. It's a 2,000 square foot space and it's being built ground up specifically for the restaurant. The space will include a new kitchen, indoor and outdoor seating for 40 guests, and a dedicated drive-up window for online orders. They plan to hire 25 new employees for this location, and the idea is a fast casual format designed for efficiency and convenience while maintaining the same quality standards that people that love wasabi full restaurants, expect.
Where is this one?
This is going to be on Clarkson in Ellisville.
Okay. So the Five Guys is over there by the former bread company inside the mall. And when I lived in New City, that's where I'd have to go to Five Guys. Is there another Five Guys to go to?
I didn't realize there was a Five Guys
I didn't either.
In the mall. Is there?
Yeah, it's over there by the Cheesecake Factory. Charming Charlie used to be there. No? Anyone? No?
I mean, you're probably right, but I've never paid attention to it.
Connor, as a Claytonite, where would you go to Five Guys, if not the mall one?
I don't know. I don't think there is one in the mall, Josh.
Oh, there used to. Hey, there was when I was going there.
Okay.
All right. Cold snap here in St. Louis. It's going to get in the 50s next week.
I hope so. I mean, even 32 felt pretty warm today. I was pleased with it.
Well, my wife did not let me take Finn sledding. Just because, it's been 15 degrees.
Wait, what?
I thought for sure, hey, we'll get out there for 20 minutes. That's all he really needs.
There were
anyway.
certain warnings about different brackets of when it's good to be outside and when you really shouldn't.
Just bundle up.
Mm-hmm.
Look like the kids from Christmas Story.
Yeah. This Saturday, it's going to be 40 degrees. This Sunday, it's going to be 49.
You'll take it.
Well, you're not going to have to worry about sledding.
I'll go on Saturday.
There's not going to be any snow.
Because then once it hits 49, it'll start melting and turn to mush.
There won't be any snow on the day before.
There's still going to be some snow, Connor.
the low,
Maybe.
yeah.
Enough to sled?
Oh, yeah. Do you know how much snow came down?
We will see.
And how much has not melted yet? Next Tuesday, it's going to be 58. So there's your big snow melt right there, Connor.
I think once you get into the mid-40s, that snow starts to really melt.
Well, maybe in the dead sun, but I'll find a hill that's shaded. This snow snap hit Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people's Jill's Airbnb got canceled.
Yeah, she didn't get to go.
Because they didn't have any power.
Right.
But it also dipped lower into Florida.
Right.
And Orlando. Heidi, Disney World got snowfall in Orlando, and they broke a record, a 90-year record, a low of 24 degrees in Orlando, Florida, over the weekend. Now, residents across Tampa to Daytona Beach experienced light snow, with flurries reported in Miami. Can you imagine packing for your Miami trip and then walking out and it's snowing? They had that hockey game at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers football
and you were
stadium.
all kinds of worried about it because how's this possible? It's too warm for it, and just need to be a little later in the year.
Connor's mom's down there, and they didn't go to the game because why, Connor?
They said it was a little too cold.
That's right.
Said it was going to be like 40 degrees, so they didn't want to go.
They're not used to it. It is all about what your body is used to.
So my wife, she's on all these Disney things on Instagram because we're planning our trip. We're going in September again. And she said they closed down the outdoor rides and you can only ride the ones that are indoor, like Space Mountain or whatever. But I'm reading right now that Tiana's Bayou, which it used to be Splash Mountain, everybody remembers that, operated from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. to avoid the coldest mornings and evening hours. But it's 24 degrees outside. Who's going to get on a ride where people regularly wear, the garbage bags to keep themselves dry?
Not me.
Holy cow. Can you imagine walking around Disney bundled up in 24-degree weather? Do you even pack for that?
Probably not. But is that the time you want to go? But you probably can't get your money back at that point.
Who knew this was going to happen?
All right. Coming up, we're going to go over some of the headlines that Ryan Kroll at St. Louis Magazine is covering.
Over the years, Lordo's has become part of the family for many, many St. Louis families. For 80 years, they've been helping St. Louis families with all of the jewelry needs, whether it's the diamond ring, a diamond ring, maybe something for St. Patrick's Day, something for an anniversary, Valentine's Day. Throughout the years and throughout the calendar, it's Lordo's as your go-to. Whether it's men or women, you want to repurpose something or buy something new, Lordo's Diamonds in the heart of Ladue on Clayton Road. You see, it's a family business. The family's been running it for years, and they learned it from their father, who learned it from their father. And so that family jeweler, it's where generations of St. Louisans go. Grandparents have gone there. Your grandkids will go there. Right there in Ladue on Clayton Road across the street from a Norman Rockwell-esque firehouse is Lordo's Diamonds. Go in, make a friend, and make them your family jeweler because you can thank me later. 314-432-8008 or online, lordosdiamonds.com.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer. New year, new fitness goals and resolutions. But what if getting stronger didn't mean living at the gym? At 20 Minutes to Fitness, you can build real strength and bone density with just one 20-minute workout a week. This isn't crowded gyms or endless reps. You work one-on-one with a trainer using scientifically proven strength methods. Each major muscle group is taken safely to deep fatigue in just a few minutes. And then your body rebuilds the rest of the week. That's where the results happen. It's perfect if you're starting fresh, coming back from an injury, or worried you've waited too long. They're staffed by health professionals, managed by a physical therapist, and clients range from their teen years all the way up to nearly 100. Doctors even recommend it to improve bone density, blood pressure, and overall strength. If you're using GLP-1 medications like Ozempic or Wegovy, this is one of the best ways to protect and rebuild muscle. No memberships, no crowds, just appointments, personalized training, and real results. Your first session is free. Now celebrating 24 years in Chesterfield and Clayton. 20 minutes to fitness. Make this the year strength finally fits your life.
With over 30 years of experience in top-quality senior living, McKnight Place Assisted Living knows how to help its residents live fulfilling lives. The professional staff gets to know all residents and their families. McKnight Place Assisted Living has become known for its high-quality amenities, personalized services, and expert care. But its history of making people a priority is what really sets it apart from many other senior communities. That starts with the residents and extends to their loved ones. 314-993-3333 or visit them at mcknightplace.com.
Since 1974, Mazza's has been a local, family-owned restaurant known for delicious Italian food the whole family can enjoy. Visit Mazza's St. Charles for daily lunch specials and bottomless mimosas during Sunday brunch, and celebrate Valentine's Day with a $70 dinner for two. Reservations required. Mazza's is proud to support the Backstoppers on KTRS. Call 636-925-2961 or visit mazzasofcourse.com and click on St. Charles for more information. Serving the St. Louis metro area since 1974 at 5 area locations. Choose Mazza's, of course.
A big KTRS shout out to Lisi Lumber, family owned and family operated since 1872. Lisi Lumber has built the St. Louis metropolitan area. They've worked with builders and contractors and homeowners. They provide building materials from soup to nuts. 2 hardware stores in Belleville ready to serve you. Millwork, insulating material, wallboard, roofing materials, you name it, Lisi Lumber can help because Lisi Lumber is just that much better. LisiLumber.com.
Hello, I'm Florissant Mayor Tim Lowry. We are 52,000 strong, and we are the largest municipality in St. Louis County. The City of Florissant is proud to once again be a co-sponsor with the Big 550 KTRS for the Backstoppers Radiothon. I come from a law enforcement family and have worked my way through the ranks to the position of Chief of Police before becoming mayor. I know how important the Backstoppers are to our community and all the wonderful things that they do for the families of our fallen heroes. Again, the City of Florissant is proud to support this year's Backstoppers Radiothon, and thank you for all you do. We are Florissant Strong. Be safe and stay healthy.
It's Monday, and that means news, politics, lighthearted topics, and everything St. Louis and beyond. It's Ryan Kroll from St. Louis Magazine on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Welcome back, Ryan. We're a week out from our biggest snowfall of the year, and we're already looking back. I know that you've covered a story about how the city did this time around. Did we do better than maybe the previous mayor did last year?
I think almost everyone agrees on that. If you recall, it was a pretty bad situation last January.
Awful.
Where not only did it yes, and it wasn't so much the fact that the snow stuck around, but it was that ice that was on the streets for, in some cases, like 10, 12 days that really just I think ultimately cost Tashara Jones the election.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this time around, much better. It does seem to kind of depend a little bit where exactly you are. I think my street was fantastic. A lot of other people's streets, fantastic. Those primary streets, I think they did a really good job on. I think residential is a little bit more block by block. And to be fair to current mayor, Kara Spencer, this was the first time they'd even tried residential streets in a long time. So I think they were still working some kinks out and that kind of thing. And they were very transparent about that. So I think, hopefully, fingers crossed that if we have another big storm, the kind of playbook they ran last weekend or 2 weekends ago is just going to be, improved upon further.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think they did a great job. I know I saw a few people on social media comparing the county to the city, but I don't know that that's apples to apples.
Yeah, that is a really good point. I think the big distinction, at least for me, is in the city, getting those residential streets is so tough because even when you do get them, if you're perfect, you plow everyone in.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of a situation where even where the city executes really well, the city residents still going to have to dig themselves out to some degree. It's just basically impossible to, perfectly clear those residential streets because there's cars oftentimes parked on both sides.
So I called Ryan earlier to talk about today's show and go through the topics, and he brought up something to me. I'm just as fascinated. He's supposed to take me on a ride along to the empty American Theater, the old Orpheum Theater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's a cool space.
And now we got a second ride on. Ryan, tell Heidi what you were telling me earlier.
Yeah, I've been working this all day. Unfortunately, I don't have a specific, conclusion here, but I'll tell you what's intriguing me. So yeah, the city, whenever they clear these huge streets like Tucker and Market and those sort of big thoroughfares, they obviously created these huge piles of snow out on the sidewalks. It must be like tons and tons, like literal tons of snow. And I saw last week they were using these big backhoes to dump the snow into the back of these really big trucks, and the trucks were hauling it off somewhere. So I asked the mayor's spokesman, I said, hey, where is all that snow going? They're creating like a mountain somewhere. And he said it's all going to a city-owned vacant lot. And I said, well, where is this vacant lot? And, might one be able to go sledding on it?
Yeah.
They haven't gotten back to me with that specific location yet. I mean, once I find out, I will let you guys know, though.
That is so much fun. Another story you're covering, the state-run police board plans to give raises, pretty hefty ones, but does the city have the money to cover them?
Yeah, this is a really fascinating story. So this is kind of the first action that the state police board has taken, is giving these officers 7% raises. And the mayor has really pushed back on this, and she's not opposed to the police getting more money. I think she supports the police and pretty much everyone who works for the city getting a raise. But there is this problem where anytime you give the police a raise, it creates all these sort of downstream costs to the city, because the city pays their pension, they pay for their health insurance, basically for the rest of their lives after they leave the force. There's other costs related to whenever the police get a raise, the firefighters also get a raise. That's baked into the city charter. And basically, it looks like the state board, which is a newly created entity, they really didn't pencil out what those ancillary costs were going to be to the city. They said, we can definitely afford the 7% raise, but that was just the sort of the salary raise, the salary costs that are going to go up. They didn't look at all these other things that are going to kind of be downstream. And the mayor has some concerns about what that's ultimately going to cost the city.
And so, Ryan, do they go back then to the drawing board, or what happens moving forward?
Well, because the city police are under state control, it's really just the vote of these 6 people. And we don't exactly know what happened behind closed doors, but they approved the raise. So it's looking like the raise is going to happen. However, the mayor has put a pause on everyone else's raise until they can figure out the fiscal impact of this thing. So I think it's a situation where this police is under this whole new system of state control. And I think the particulars of how that's going to function are still being figured out. And I don't really think anyone knows exactly what state control is going to look like. It's going to take at least a few months, if not years, to kind of get the new system figured out.
Well, this is a perfect example. They implement this, but what I hear you saying is that this is now up to the mayor and maybe the aldermen and women to figure out how to get it done.
Exactly. So they're going to, Paul Payne, the budget director, I know this is probably a big headache for him. Yeah, they're going to have to figure out kind of, okay, what is the overall cost going to be to the city, and then budget around that, where obviously normally you want to do it the opposite, right? You want to think, how much money do we have? And then you give the raises as you can. But it's really a situation where the board of commissioners, the state board of commissioners, I mean, they're just, I don't really blame them. They're trying to get their officers as much money as they can. That's kind of their job. And really the mayor is in sort of a tight spot here, because she's on the police board as well. She wants what's best for the officers, but then she also has to sort of worry about the rest of the city's budget as well. So it seems like this kind of conflict was almost inevitable. And I think it happened sooner than anyone thought, though.
Yeah.
Hey, I want the police to make more than anybody. I think they're woefully underpaid, but that's pretty striking to say, hey, we're going to give them raises and then not know where the money's coming from. And you make the mayor the bad guy if she says, look, they promised you 7%. We can only do 4%.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I think the mayor the messaging that she's giving is, I'm very pro police. I'm very pro raises. We just have to, figure out what these things are going to cost. And I think we're going to see more of this too, because there's a bill working its way through Jefferson City right now that is going to change, even though the police are controlled by the state. Anytime the police get sued, that money is going to come out of the city coffers. if they lose a lawsuit or something like that. So that's kind of another uncomfortable position where you have this entity controlled by the state, but if they screw up, it's the city that's going to have to pay for it. So it's just a lot of, I don't think there's a lot of things that people were aware of, about a year ago when state control passed Jeff City. I think we're kind of finding out all this fine print type stuff, 10 months, a year later.
Well, it seems like it just creates another way of pointing fingers at each other as far as that goes. You can follow Ryan's reports online at stlmag.com. He is on top of all of it all the time. We really appreciate it, Ryan. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Talk to you soon.
All right, it's 4:30. Time to get another check of traffic with Captain Paul.
Heidi, there's a crash on 141 North at Schneider, just north of Tesson Ferry. We have an accident on 55 South at Rivas Barracks with a slowdown back to Union. There's a crash on 64 East past Mason, blocking the 2 right lanes with traffic backed up to Maryville Center. And 64 West is crowded from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to the 6470 merge. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hi, it's Frank Cusimano inviting you to join me for the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to interview some of the biggest names in sports and have our opening monologue. That's the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
The Missouri Valley Conference Men's Basketball Tournament has been the showcase for buzzer beaters, madness, and championship glory. With nearly 5 decades of heart-racing excitement, it begins here at Enterprise Center. The 2026 State Farm MVC Tournament, presented by Credit Union One, Great Southern Bank, and SSM Health, tips off on March 5th through 8th. Celebrate 50 years of the Valley's postseason championship. Get your tickets now at archmadness.com.
Way back in time, if you had a leak in the roof of your hut, I imagine you had to find a tree close by, scale it, and then jump and hope you could get up there and see what was wrong. Then came the advent of the ladder. There was an easier way to get up there and see if something was wrong. And with modern technology, we finally get around to the drone. Now, the folks at Allen Roofing use those instead of trees and ladders. Send a drone up, find out if there's anything wrong with your roof, get some pictures, go over it with you, and see if there's a problem, how bad it is, what they could do, what it'll cost. Or if everything's just fine, they will tell you that too. Boy, it's so nice we don't have to climb trees to look at our hut. Allen Roofing, embracing technology and doing quality roof repair, siding, gutters, everything for the outside of your home. Just ask Gronk. He was one of the first customers. It's Allen Roofing. Find them online at aroofing.net.
26 years ago, we feared Y2K. Flash drives were invented. The International Space Station was built. Survivor debuted on TV, and Carnival was born.
We're back at it Saturday, February 28th at Ameristar Casino. 16 of St. Louis's best restaurants and comedy from King of Queens, Gary Valentine.
I swear, I could do my act in a closet by myself. I don't even need... Like, if the room was empty right now, same show.
Along with the night of comedy, plan on sampling dishes from great restaurants like Bartolino's, Pappy's, Nothing Bundt Cakes, Pasta House, The Main House, Pino's, and Butler's Pantry. Tickets are going fast. Get them now at carnieskids.org. Brought to you by Invita Health and Wellness, Element Roofing and Exteriors, Raise Up Collaborative, and the William Seedoff Foundation. It's a night of fun, food, and punchlines. Saturday, February 28th. Info at carnieskids.org.
Don't miss Straight Talk on Retirement with Jeff and Aaron Lapidus every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Join this dynamic father-daughter daughter duo every Saturday morning for an entertaining and intimate understanding of the retirement needs you may soon be facing. From decades of financial planning expertise combined with a deep knowledge of healthcare benefits, Aaron and Jeff will give you the straight talk on retirement every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, it's Heidi, and if the new year means a new look for your home, look no further than Dalco Home Remodeling. Let me just tell you, customers could not be happier. If you're looking for new windows, Dalco Home Remodeling has you covered. If you're looking for a new door, they can custom make you a front door. They can do French doors, they can do sliding doors, and they can stain it or paint it to whatever you have going on or whatever new color you want to add. Let me just tell you about some of the happy clients. You've got Alex, who said, I had Dalco replace several windows and doors on one of my properties, did a top quality job for me, would definitely recommend. And he's just one of many. You know, Dalco Home Remodeling has been around for more than 50 years. They are family owned and family operated. So if you're ready to get your dream project underway, go to DalcoHomeRemodeling.com. You can also give them a call at 314-298-7300.
Well, I think this is the story everybody is talking about. It just is gut-wrenching. Savannah Guthrie's mom is missing in Arizona, and now there's evidence of a crime at her home. Alex Stone, ABC News correspondent in L.A., joins us with the latest on this. Has there been any changes? Do we know anything of this hour?
We don't know a lot, and it's very troubling from what we do know about the case. Last night, it was just a elderly missing adult at risk because of her age, and we hear that all the time around the world of people who walk away with dementia, or they're driving and they get into an accident, or especially among the elderly. But today, the sheriff in Pima County, Arizona, is saying that they have evidence a crime was committed, that it is clear based on the evidence and what they now know that Nancy Guthrie did not walk away on her own on Sunday morning, and that something happened to her. The sheriff today saying this.
Right, and it is really important. Miss Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie, is of great sound mind. This is not a dementia related. She is as sharp as a tack.
She apparently does not have much mobility, though, so they say she couldn't have left on her own. She can walk like 50 yards, and that's about it. That they think somebody absolutely took her, and why and how. The sheriff says that they don't want to say at this point for the integrity of the investigation, but they believe that she was taken. And they don't know, they don't have any evidence of it, but they don't know if it's connected to her daughter being Savannah Guthrie and if it's targeted in some way. But Nancy's whereabouts are unknown, and they feel that she is in grave danger right now.
She did not leave on her own. We know that.
So he says whomever has her, that Nancy needs medications if she does not get them in the next 24 hours, that it could very well be fatal, and that she needs those meds. Search and rescue teams, they were working on it last night, kind of like somebody who had walked away or gone on a hike and they're out looking. They're now standing down. The FBI is coming in, and they got to do analysis and look at the evidence and figure out where was she taken. It's not somebody who just happens to be roaming around out there any longer, but it's being called a very active investigation right now. Seems that they have no idea of Nancy Guthrie's whereabouts, and the sheriff added.
We saw some things at the home that were concerning to us. We believe now, after we processed that crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime.
He's asking the public to help out now and for neighbors to check their cameras and give them anything that they've got. He's saying they're also going to rely on license plate readers and artificial intelligence to understand what unfolded and track where she went. But he called on critics of police who don't like them using technology and the whole Big Brother police state thing for them to stand down, because he says they need to use them right now to be able to find this 84-year-old woman who could die tonight. That they've got to figure out where she is. And so he says they're going to use every bit of technology that they have at their disposal to try to figure out where she is, and right now they don't know.
Alex, any idea, does she have her phone with her? Was a phone left at the scene? Do we know that? Okay.
No indication of it, because it seems like then they'd be able to track her unless the phone was completely dead, and it doesn't seem like that they're getting anything like that.
Alex, Heidi watches the show every morning. Maybe you guys can help me out. Was she a known person?
She's been on the show a couple times.
She's been on the show.
A few times, and Savannah talks about her quite a bit. So, she's been on set a few times.
And And the way that this is being phrased, you reading between the lines, do they think that this is going to be a ransom kind of situation?
We don't know if they're getting a demand right now. That they haven't indicated that they are, but they also aren't saying a lot of what is going on and what was the scene like, what led them to know that this was a crime, all of that they are keeping where only the bad guys and police know that right now for the integrity of all of it. So we just don't know.
I think the other part that just hurts your heart on this one is Savannah lost her dad when she was young and even lived at home to be closer to her mom when she was at college. So they really have this tight bond.
Yeah, they're very, very close. She has put out a statement through NBC thanking everybody for their prayers. And we know she is in the Tucson area right now. She and her siblings are helping out the police any way that they can. But, what do you do at this point? If police are looking, what do you do?
Alex, thank you so much for covering this.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
Didn't she just come back?
Yeah, she had vocal surgery.
She had vocal surgery.
And she's been on she was on leave there for a while because she was afraid she was going to lose her entire voice. And what is so interesting, Chanel Jones also had that same surgery done several years ago. And I guess it's one of those things that you think that your voice is getting a little sexier. You got that Demi Moore kind of rasp.
Yeah.
But apparently there's a point then when you're really losing your voice. So thankfully she was able to have that turned around.
And by all accounts, she is just the sweetest person in the world. If this ends up going bad and it was one of these kind of ransom or because she's a public, I could see her stepping down and just saying, look,
let's not put
this is going to happen.
That's just you.
That's me speculating.
Right. Let's not do that.
Like such a nice person. Savannah Guthrie, really good person, genuine, and you haven't heard anything otherwise.
No, I've never met her, but yeah, I've never heard any kind of through the grapevine that she's anything but great.
We are here with the man, Ryan Raphael. He's the Medicare man of St. Louis. Ryan, one of the biggest misconceptions about Medicare when people reach the age of 65 is if they don't sign up at age 65, they get penalized.
So really what happens is when people are approaching 65, they get all the literature and things coming at them that looks like they have to do something. If somebody is working, they really do not have to sign up for Medicare as long as they're part of an employer of 20 or more employees and they can take it out down the road and not pay penalties.
So if you're over the age of 65 and you have not signed up for Medicare, there's no penalty. There's no reason why you can't do it at age 65, 66, or 67,
That
or
is
70.
correct. Yep.
That is Ryan Raphael. If you're approaching 65 and you have questions about Medicare, he is the man. The Medicare Man, STL.com, 314-368-6808, Ryan Raphael. And if you don't trust me, trust my nanny. My nanny says he's the best. Ryan Raphael, the Medicare Man, MedicareManSTL.com.
Ray's Tree Service wants to remind you not to forget about your trees this winter. The spring storms will be here before we know it, and if those trees go untreated, you could have a real mess on your hands. Caring for your trees now will help promote better airflow and light penetration, which can enhance your tree, lawn, and landscape health. Call Ray's Tree Service at 314-821-2665 for a free estimate with one of our qualified arborists, or online at raystreeservice.com.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Hi, I'm Mike Vitale from Vitale's Bakery on a Hill. Our family runs a bakery and a retail store started by our parents, Pete and Grace Vitale, in 1976. Vitale's Bakery makes the finest Italian bread and pastries, including our mom's legendary Giugiulana seed cookies and her famous meat sauce.
And don't forget our pizza crust.
We also carry customers' favorites like lemon ice. Come taste our Italian heritage today at the corner of Bischoff and Marconi. Vitale's Bakery on a Hill, where you're not a customer, you're family.
Vitale's Bakery proudly supports the Backstoppers. Get your season tickets now for the 2026 Stages St. Louis. The 2026 season is kicked off with the always hilarious 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Then take a trip back to the 40s and 50s with Guys and Dolls. Stages will wrap up this year with the incredible true story of Come From Away. Call today to reserve your group's individual or season tickets. 314-821-2407. Or visit them online at stagesstlouis.org. That's stagesstlouis.org.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deal.
Thanks, Farmer Dave. I'm combating wintertime blues by purchasing cool cars and motorcycles. Do you have a unique, low-mile, or super clean car you'd like to sell? Call me. I'm looking for Corvettes, Mustangs, Camaros, Harleys, Ducatis, Porsches, or anything super low mile and super clean. Even everyday cars if they're exceptionally nice and well cared for. I'll come to you if you're in the St. Louis area, especially if you have more than one vehicle to sell. It's okay if you have a loan on it. We'll make the payoff. We make it easy. Hop on our site and submit your vehicle. We'll take it from there.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
You've had all these great ideas about what to do with your outside space. Now's the time to take the next step and call Outdoor Living, because Pat Leahy and the gang at Outdoor Living have built a showroom, which is a great resource for you. You can go in and see all the products they have, the composite decking, the metal framing. You see, at Outdoor Living, what they pride themselves on is building it right the first time and never having to worry about it again. So they build it. You can enjoy it for the rest of your life. Outdoor Living, their showroom on Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood, is a great resource for you. You can go and see all the different ways and all the different things they can do. Then they'll come out, they'll do a site visit, and in just a few short weeks, you will have the dream deck, fence, gazebo, pergola, whatever it may be. Outdoor Living, right there in Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood. 314-966-3325 or OutdoorLivingInc.com. Check out the showroom and take that next step. You'll love it. Outdoor Living or OutdoorLivingInc.com.
All right, it's about 4:45. Let's get a check of traffic with Captain Paul before we talk a little sports with KTRS Sports Director Brendan Weesey.
Thanks, Heidi. There's a crash on 141 North at Schneider, just north of Tesson Ferry. We have an accident on 55 South at Revis Barracks. Another crash on 44 East at Bowles. There's a stalled vehicle on 44 East before Park downtown. 64 West is crowded in front of Forest Park, and 55 South is running slow at Gasconade. This traffic report is brought to you by the St. Louis Boat and Fishing Show. It's the premier show for boaters, fishermen, and anybody that loves the outdoors. The St. Louis Boat and Fishing Show at the Americas Center, February 20th through the 22nd. See the boats, pet live stingrays, visit with the Cardinal Cowboy trophy whitetail deer mounts, and more. Visit stlouisboatshows.com for more. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, we've got a couple of stories coming out from Cardinals camps. We wanted to bring in KTRS Sports Director Brendan Weesey. Let's start with this trade that we just found out about in the last, hour or two?
Last hour. It's been rumored all off season long. Would the Cardinals move Brendan Donovan? He's the last real attractive piece for teams to get in on. The Cardinals have already moved Wilson Contreras and Sonny Gray and Nolan Arenado. And I think we all expected Donovan to yield the biggest return. He's still somewhat cost-minded, a guy that's not going to cost you a lot. He's still relatively young, so you expected the return to be significant. We don't know exactly what the return is as of yet. There is some rumors in terms of Seattle's got a lot of really good young prospects. Their system is loaded of guys that are not just highly touted prospects, but hopefully prospects that are ready to impact the big leagues sooner rather than later. So I'd have to think at least one upper echelon prospect from Seattle, and then possibly another player or two along for the ride. Now, there is one player that we've heard from USA Today baseball writer Bob Nightingale's reporting that kind of a utility player, Ben Williamson, made his big league debut for the Mariners last summer, would be involved in the trade, but he would actually go to Tampa Bay. Now, this looks to be a 3-team trade involving the Cardinals, Mariners, and Tampa Bay Rays. But this is, again, like the last real big significant piece that the Cardinals could trade. So it looks... It's interesting that we don't have the rest of this trade yet because it's been reported for more than an hour now, but I imagine that will come down the line here shortly. We'll obviously have an update for you tonight on the Big Sports Show.
But in your opinion, this is what the Cardinals needed to do?
Well, I don't know about that. I think it certainly makes sense, and I am waiting to see what this return looks like. I've said all along, there's no reason to make the trade unless you're bringing a hefty return back.
Okay. In a rebuilding season like we have going on, when they're cutting loose all these other players, what do you think they're bringing in? Pitching with the teams that are involved in the trades? Is it pitching? Is it young bats? What do you think?
It could be a combination. I think right now you're looking for just... the Cardinals can't be too picky at this point. They're just looking for a talent infusion. I'd like to think they've accumulated so much young pitching in the last couple of years. I mean, it's not right this second, but I got news for you. The Cardinals pitching is going to be good sooner rather than later. It's just probably not this year. I'd like to see them go out there and start to accumulate some young position player talent. Cardinals have a lot of catching prospects, and they've got J.J. Weatherholt, but they always have room for outfield prospects. The Cardinals have been trying to put an outfield together of players developed inside the organization for a long time. So maybe an outfield prospect or two, but I think the Mariners seem to be pretty rich in pitching prospects, so I imagine there's a pitching prospect or two coming back here. And again, for me, it's just accumulating as much talent as you can, and Brendan Donovan was the tool to get you that young talent as soon as possible. He wasn't your best bargaining chip, and it looks like the Cardinals are about to cash in that chip.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got to have all this tied up. When do pitchers and catchers report?
We're just a week and a half or 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Which is crazy, isn't it?
It's here before you know it, and there are players already down there starting to prepare. But, yeah, the season is going to be upon us. And, of course, this trade news comes, and I know you wanted to talk about this as well, Heidi, on a day where we start to learn what the television landscape looks like.
Cardinals have cut ties with FanDuel. That's not going to be where we're watching baseball this summer.
That's now a done deal. FanDuel Sports Network and their parent company, I believe it's Main Street Sports, is falling by the wayside, and it's going to be non-existent, I think, by the summer. I think there is some talk that for those teams like in the NHL and the NBA that have deals with Main Street Sports that they would finish out the season. But this thing is rapidly developing, and the Cardinals now will have their games produced by Major League Baseball media.
And so then where do we watch it? Is that only streaming, or would it be on Major League Baseball TV?
Would it be on Charter or Spectrum, DirecTV?
Yeah, so here's the good news. Now, we don't know specifically what entities are going to have the carriage agreement, but by all accounts, if you have the Cardinals now on FanDuel Sports Network, if you had access to FanDuel Sports Network on your service provider, almost certainly you're going to have it through whatever this MLB TV production looks like. So if you've got DirecTV like me, I watch FanDuel Sports Network, the Cardinals and the Blues on channel 671. I don't think you're going to be able to see it on 671, but I'd imagine somewhere in your channel library,
maybe 672.
Maybe 672. You're going to have this MLB or what is called Cardinals TV or Cardinals.tv.
But with Hulu, I'm sure YouTube
TV. I haven't seen Cardinal baseball in years.
But even with you can create a channel. It's your service, 1,001, 10,001. Who cares? They can create a channel tomorrow and get this thing up there.
Right. And I think it's just a matter of just like if YouTube TV didn't have FanDuel all this time, now you've got to negotiate with the team itself. I would imagine it sounds like the Cardinals are going to be open to talking to those entities like YouTube TV, that they're going to try to work something out. But if you don't have access through your cable or satellite provider, this has been something in the works for a while. You can get an MLB TV Cardinal subscription, whether you're going to pay $20 a month or if you want to pay for the whole season. I believe it's going to be $99.99. That gets you the streamable Cardinal games for all of what will amount to maybe 140, 145 games that aren't, obviously there are some national television broadcasts, ESPN, Fox, whatever. Those are separate. But for the games that would have been on FanDuel, these are going to be available, and it sounds like, again, either $20 a month or $100 for the full season will get you that package.
All right, let's switch to basketball. SLU and Illinois have cracked the top 20 in the latest AP Top 25 poll, which is impressive. And, Illinois jumps to number 5 after back-to-back road wins, including taking out Nebraska yesterday.
Illinois looks like a monster right now, and they've scored 2 of the biggest wins of the season in the last 8 days. They beat Purdue in West Lafayette last weekend, and then yesterday they go to Lincoln and beat the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who had entered the week in the top 10. Now, they've dropped a couple in a row, but for Illinois, they are absolutely the real deal. I think they are, at this point, a contender to get a number 1 seed, which really at this point, number 1 or a 2 seed, it really doesn't matter. They are basically, in my mind, just about a lock to play their first round games, I would think, in St. Louis. I'm not sure there is another location closer to Champaign than St. Louis is. I don't think there are first round games in Chicago or Indianapolis or anything like that. Detroit, I'm trying to think of any market that also has first-round matchups. I think they're absolutely going to be coming through St. Louis. Is there a possibility we could see an Illinois SLU game in maybe the second round? I would not completely rule it out. But Illinois is absolutely locked in right now. They look fantastic.
Yeah, and we mentioned SLU. They're doing a lot of things right as well.
They are, and they demolished a Dayton team that is somewhat compromised.
They're not that great this year.
They're not. But they're
31,
not a pushover.
Yeah,
you
31
demolish them
points.
by 31 points. The only thing about SLU, when we learned this last year with Mizzou over time, it was about this time last year, remember, Mizzou beat Alabama at home. It was just an unbelievable atmosphere. Mizzou, suddenly their three-point shooters went cold, and that's the only thing about SLU is that they rely so much on that three-point shot. If that were to dry up, how do they respond? Now they're really deep, and that's the good news. There's not just 1 or 2 guys. I think it was Trey Green today named the A10 Player of the Week.
Nice.
If he's not shooting it, then Robbie Avila's shooting it. If Robbie's not shooting it, then Kellen Thames is shooting it. There are so many options on this SLU team. I feel less concerned about them going through a cold snap, if you will, but they have earned the right to slip up every now and then and it not affect their tournament resume.
Yeah.
They've they've really put together a tremendous run, and I think they've got the 4th longest winning streak in the country right now with what they're doing.
So exciting. What are you guys going to be talking about tonight?
We will we'll dig into all of this news. We'll talk a little bit. We've got our Mizzou Monday. We're going to talk Mizzou gymnastics, a little look inside the PGA Tour. Don't forget, it's going to be a part of a huge summer here in town. PGA Tour coming through Belle Reve and the BMW Championship in August. So we're starting to kick up some coverage of the PGA Tour. We'll have our Valley show coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, the Valley on the Big 550. And again, the latest news on this Cardinal trade as hopefully we start to get to some details here in the next few minutes or again, this afternoon and this evening. We'll be on top of it.
All right, Brendan, we'll be listening tonight. Thanks,
Thanks,
you, sir.
Heidi.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
This year, I'm giving my hair salon a total makeover.
Total makeover sounds totally expensive.
We updated our logo and colors, so I needed to print new signage, brochures, business cards, everything.
Everything will not be cheap.
Staples did it all, and I saved $100 on my order.
$100? Trim my whiskers, that's a good deal. For everything your business needs to print, let's go Staples.
That was easy.
Offer valid in-store and online. Ends 1/31. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
It's February, and we all know what happens in February, Valentine's Day. Instead of hitting the expensive spots that limit selections and hike up prices, consider spending the evening or morning in the casual comfort of Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant. Why make Valentine's a nighttime thing? Gingham's is open 24 hours, and everything on our extensive menu is available day or night. With the weather we've had, there's nothing better than a hearty breakfast or a hot bowl of soup, a great homestyle meal, and a piece of pie to top it off. Make it Gingham's this February and visit us at ginghamsrestaurant.com.
Diana from Newsteaders Fine Jewelers here to remind you, we don't just offer the best pieces, we offer one of the last master hand engravers in our country. My father can create timeless, personal, and unforgettable pieces. Come by our showroom at the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or learn more online at wowdiamonds.com.
The St. Louis Chess Club is a newly expanded 30,000 square foot state-of-the-art chess center featuring world-class tournament playing halls, classrooms, library, and casual play spaces for everyone who loves the game.
But it's so much more than a place to play.
It's where champions are built on the board, in the classroom, and across the community with a mission to bring the game to everyone from all levels with memberships starting at just $15 a month.
Discover the excitement, the challenge, and the community of chess at stlouischessclub.org.
The home of ABC News. KTRS AM, FM 1061, K291CW St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Following escalating tensions between ICE and protesters in Minneapolis and the shooting deaths of Alex Preddy and Renee Good, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem announcing today that every officer, she says, in the field in Minneapolis will receive body cameras. President Trump at the White House says the cameras are okay with him.
Well, it wasn't my decision. I leave it to her. They generally tend to be good for law enforcement because people can't lie about what's happening.
Democrats have been pushing for changes to federal immigration agent tactics, including wearing body cameras and banning masks. It led to a holdup in key funding to end a partial government shutdown. The House Rules Committee meeting right now, and lawmakers return tomorrow for a possible vote.
The package would fully fund the Pentagon, HHS, the Departments of Labor, Transportation, and Education through the end of the fiscal year, but only provide 2 more weeks of funding for DHS. Last Friday, it passed the Senate 71-29, but it could prove much trickier to pass in the House, with conservative Republicans and progressive Democrats indicating they're not on board.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy. The Justice Department coming under scrutiny for its latest release of Epstein files. Attorneys for victims say the DOJ mistakenly did not redact their names. The DOJ says it's working to fix the mistakes. A hearing is set for Wednesday. In Florida, Secretary Pete Hegseth spoke at Blue Origin's facility, touting the administration's push for American space dominance. On the tarmac during his trip, he also spoke about the U.S. military mobilizing near Iran as it pressures Iran to sign a new nuclear deal.
The president's been clear from the beginning, as he was before Midnight Hammer. Iran will not have nuclear weapons capability.
Authorities in Arizona asking for information to help solve the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today anchor Savannah Guthrie, last seen at her home Saturday night. The Pima County Sheriff says the home is now considered a crime scene. You're listening to ABC News.
This Valentine's Day, celebrate the one you love the most with Hallmark cards at Walgreens. Valentine's Day is the best time to send your favorite person a reminder of just how much they mean to you. A Hallmark card is a super simple and beautiful way to say how grateful you are for the love you two share. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is Saturday, February 14th. Visit Walgreens today to find a Hallmark card that shows just how much you care for them, because love lives here.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This is KTRS News. I'm Sobe Bay. A man is dead after an officer-involved shooting involving St. Louis County Police. Police say this all unfolded late last night when officers responded to a report of shots fired along Lucas and Hunt in North County. Police learned of a vehicle possibly involved in the shooting and attempted to make a traffic stop. That's when police say the driver took off, prompting a police chase. The chase ended in North St. Louis City in the area of 2nd and East Grand, where the suspect was forced to stop because of a passing train. That's when police say the suspect exited the vehicle and pulled out a weapon. Police say officers then fired their weapons, striking the suspect. St. Louis County Police Chief Kenneth Gregory had this to say about what happened.
Can't say enough about the hard work and bravery of the officers that were involved in this incident. Unfortunately, things like this happen in this line of work. Unfortunately, there was a loss of life in this event. Thankfully, our officers were doing okay. They were all fine. So, again, I just want to, thank them for the hard work that they did.
All 5 St. Louis County police officers involved in the shooting have been placed on leave, which is standard procedure in a shooting. The man convicted of killing a Herman police officer and seriously injuring another officer has been sentenced to death. A jury reached that decision on Friday for Kenneth Simpson. Back in March of 2023, Sergeant Mason Griffith and Officer Adam Sullentrump responded to a gas station in Herman for a report of an irate person. When the officers arrived, they encountered Simpson. That's when Simpson shot the officers. Griffith died of his injuries, and Sullentrump spent over 7 months in a Colorado rehab facility. 3 suspects are being sought after a Warrenton police officer was hit by a vehicle. Police said the driver of the vehicle reversed and struck an officer while trying to flee a traffic stop on Bryden Court early Sunday morning. 2 men and a woman later abandoned the vehicle near Timber Drive and ran into a wooded area. The officer was not seriously injured. A fire is to blame for destroying a winery in Gasconade County. The fire broke out yesterday morning at Wynwood Bay Winery along Highway K in Bay, Missouri. It quickly spread to 4 alarms. It took about 3 hours before the fire was brought under control. No injuries were reported. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florists, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. So how much money did Missouri make during their first month of legalized sports betting? Well, it's not as much as you might think. Bettors in Missouri wagered more than $500 million in December during the state's first month of legalized sports betting. The Missouri Gaming Commission reports bettors placed more than $540 million in sports wagers in December. However, despite wide interest, Missouri sportsbooks collectively finished without a profit, reporting losses of nearly $21 million. Industry experts say losses are common during the early months of legalized sports betting, largely due to heavy promotional spending tied to launch incentives and sign-up bonuses. Because operators reported net losses, the state collected little to no sports betting tax during the launch month. But bettors did cash in with more than $400 million in winnings paid out. Now this look at the markets brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement. Saturday mornings 9 to 11. At the close today, Wall Street, Dow Jones finished up 515 points to close at 49,407. NASDAQ up 130 to close at 23,592. S&P 500 finished up 37 points to close at 6,976. Now let's check sports and traffic with Captain Paul Kopsky.
Sobe, the Blues are in Nashville this evening to begin a quick road trip before the Olympic break. The Note closed out the month of January with 5 wins and 9 losses. And SLU basketball's win streak has reached 15 games, the fourth longest in the country after their 31-point win over Dayton. The Billikens will head out on the road tomorrow to take on Davidson in North Carolina. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. The roads are looking good right now. We have a stalled vehicle on 364 West past Bennington. 64 West is crowded in front of Forest Park, and 55 South is stop and go at 4500 South Broadway. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Captain Paul. KTRS weather tonight, cloudy, overnight low of 24. Tomorrow morning, spotty flurries or light drizzle possible, mainly to the southeast. Then partly sunny, high of 35 tomorrow. Right now we have 39 degrees. The time is 5:08. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Way back in time, if you had a leak in the roof of your hut, I imagine you had to find a tree close by, scale it, and then jump and hope you could get up there and see what was wrong. Then came the advent of the ladder. There was an easier way to get up there and see if something was wrong. And with modern technology, we finally get around to the drone. Now, the folks at Allen Roofing use those instead of trees and ladders. Send a drone up, find out if there's anything wrong with your roof, get some pictures, go over it with you, and see if there's a problem, how bad it is, what they could do, what it'll cost. Or if everything's just fine, they will tell you that too. Boy, it's so nice we don't have to climb trees to look at our hut. Allen Roofing embracing technology and doing quality roof repair, siding, gutters, everything for the outside of your home. Just ask Gronk. He was one of the first customers. It's Allen Roofing. Find him online at aroofing.net.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Victims and lawmakers are criticizing the DOJ release of insufficiently redacted Epstein files. What does this really mean for the victims? Royal Oaks, ABC News legal analyst in LA, joins us with more on this. So, Royal, what exactly wasn't redacted that people are complaining about?
Well, 43 victim names emerged that should have been blacked out, and they were not. In addition, a bunch of photographs of victims in sensitive context. A bunch of women are saying, my name has never been associated with the whole Epstein scandal, and here's my name as a victim. So somebody's got a lot of explaining to do here. It's ironic because, the Department of Justice has been under fire. You're too slow. Why are you withholding these documents? Are you just trying to protect the president? And now when they kick 3 million pages out the door, it turns out maybe they rushed a little too much because a lot of stuff should have been taken out.
Royal, you're a lawyer. Tell us, for 1 million pages of Epstein files, how long does it really take to go through all this stuff? It has to take hours upon months.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff by AI. Your computer can go in. For example, if a lawyer's got a big stack of documents and he's looking for all the documents that have John Smith's name on it, you can get it pretty quickly. So you don't have to have eyeballs on every single line, but maybe you do, because obviously whatever tools they used here, whether it's just human effort or using computerized search techniques, they didn't catch them all. The bottom line is, on your question, it takes a lot of time to go through this stuff carefully, even if you're getting some computer help.
So could a victim then also file a lawsuit if their name appears in this and they feel like there's been damage done?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are going to be lawsuits. The first step is the DOJ is already saying, okay, we're clawing it back. We're trying to take down what we shouldn't have set out, trying to figure out, what falls into that category. Secondly, victims' families have already gone to a bunch of judges around the country saying, put the toothpaste back in the tube, tell them to put it back in. Now, down the road, as you say, people are going to be pretty angry. They're going to file invasion of privacy suits. It's tough sometimes suing the government. There's this thing they call sovereign immunity, which is the fancy term that governments always use when they want to fend off lawsuits. Because if you let anybody sue the government for anything, even if it was kind of wacky, that's all the government would do. defend itself in court. Some people would say we'd be better off if that's all they did, but that's the extreme libertarian view. And so some suits, though, if they are meritorious, if the government really was negligent or reckless, yeah, they're going to sneak through and end up maybe making some big bucks in damages against the government.
And Royal, when that actually happens, I mean, I can't imagine how many different people are kind of going through this trying to redact it. Will they ever name those names of like whose fault it is? Is there a specific attorney that's who oversees this sort of thing?
Well, you can bet you're going to have to drag that kind of information out of the Department of Justice, but that's where litigation comes in. If you file an invasion of privacy suit, and if the judge says, okay, this is one of those suits I'm going to allow to go forward, this isn't a wacky, crazy suit, then you serve subpoenas, and you demand production of documents, and you serve people with deposition subpoenas, and you take their testimony, and you find out who was to blame for this. Should they be personally liable, or is it just a matter of the government writing a check to somebody whose name has been dragged through the mud? So, yeah, it's going to keep a lot of lawyers busy down the road. It's just amazing how this Epstein case has staying power.
Mm-hmm.
And Royal, I said over the weekend they unredacted the victims' names, but they still redacted the powerful, important people. However, the more you read this, I mean, Bill Gates is named in this. Elon Musk is allegedly emailing Jeffrey Epstein to say, hey, I want to come to one of these parties.
Sarah Ferguson.
The Duchess of York, formerly. Are these real emails? How would we know if this is real or if this is, I mean, it looked like an Elon Musk email. That looks pretty real to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, nowadays, of course, with deep fake and computer generation, you're always wondering if you see something online, gee, is this for real? But when the government has had 10, 15 million pages of Epstein-related stuff in their storage, and they're releasing it in dribs and drabs, hopefully we can trust that this isn't just a bunch of deep fake stuff. Obviously, Bill Gates had some unpleasant, unsavory stories circulating about his activities in recent months. You have to wonder, though, how many more smoking guns could there be? Because this story has been circulating for decades now, and plenty of opportunity for victims, people who say, oh, well, I know that guy, he's super famous. If it doesn't come out until now, by now, it seems unlikely that there'd be more blockbuster disclosures, but you never know. More to follow.
Yeah. Royal, what are your takeaways from the Epstein files that you've seen and read about? Are there any things that are shocking to you?
Well, of course, the whole situation was shocking in terms of, the criminality. And, of course, Epstein, he died in prison. And Maxwell, she's still in prison, although in kind of a club fed. But I think just the most shocking thing about it is that it was allowed to go on for so long with, so many high-profile people involved. And, you have to ask yourself, what kind of hold did this guy have over people? Was he some sort of a, financial genius? And most people who studied it say, well, no, not really. He was a rich guy. Hopefully we'll all learn a lesson from it, and nobody will fall prey to an Epstein person in the future, either as a victim or as a co-conspirator.
And Royal, what do you make of the government's job in releasing this latest round of files? I mean, we were due this stuff back in December, but are they doing a full faith effort to get this stuff out?
Well, it just seems like they step in it at every turn. On the one hand, the law said, passed by Congress several months ago, you release everything within 30 days, and they didn't. And now when they release it late, they do it wrong. So the report card is not good for the Department of Justice on this project.
No. Royal Oaks, your report card is always great. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. Well, then I'll have my parents sign it.
Yeah. A+.
Thank you.
In times that feel uncertain, music can bring us together. Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra for Prokofiev and Child's Anthems of Resilience. Experience a shared journey of hope, strength, and humanity as the SLSO explores the greatness of the human soul through Prokofiev's Symphony No. 5, Rena Esmail's Remember, and Billy Child's Diaspora. featuring saxophonist Stephen Banks. February 6th and 7th at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
So you need a new car or SUV, but you're upside down in your trade, but you're worried about your down payment, but your credit is less than perfect. Bring your butts to HW Kia of West County today. Because if you're a first-time buyer or you were turned down last year for your loan, HW Kia wants to finance your future, not your past. Have a job clearing $450 per week? You're practically approved. Come see Big D the trade man with any trade and get up to a $5,000 discount off any select new Kia in stock. Take home a new 25 Kia K4LX for just $19,995 with any trade, or 0 down and 0 interest on every clearly marked new Kia, even Telluride and Sorrento all-wheel drive SUVs. You'll save a buttload of money, so get your butts to hwkia.com.
On approved credit, not all will qualify. Plus tax, title, license, and $587 title and registration processing fee. 22 or newer trade. Negative equity refinanced and new loan. Rebates and incentives to dealer. Not all will qualify through KMF. 2083 per thousand borrowed. Offers not in combination. Expires 2/4/26.
Schrader Funeral Homes and Crematory. St. Louis's oldest family-owned funeral home, offering complete funeral, burial, and cremation services, including an on-site reception center and crematory. 150 years of serving St. Louis families. Visit them at schrader.com.
We'll admit, we've already thrown in the towel on the New Year's resolution.
Yeah, and we made it through dry January. But one healthy new habit we're sticking with is Active Liver from New Nordic. Did you know your liver works around the clock processing food, sugar, alcohol, and everyday toxins? All things that can really impact your health.
That's why daily support matters. Active Liver is designed to help protect normal liver function and support your body's natural detox process.
With trusted ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and artichoke extract, it's gentle enough to take all year long.
No harsh cleanses, no extreme detoxes, just simple daily liver support. We really feel the difference.
Yup, more energy and the peace of mind knowing we can enjoy the good things in life while giving our liver the love it needs.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com. Or you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
Carney, Buck.
Tuesday on the program, as we get closer and closer to the Super Bowl, we got to talk to Frank Cusimano.
All right. He's our sports guy. It makes perfect sense. And then we've also got to talk to our tech guy. He's Dan Morin.
How's your printer working?
That's another story for another day.
Nettie's Pizza Den pops into for Restaurant Tuesday, the history of the Bottom Line, one of the most historic nightclubs in the country.
We'll see you here right at noon.
John Carney, Julie Buck. Weekdays at noon on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
We'll get to share a little later in the entertainment report because I think she's maybe the person people are talking about the most, had the biggest gaffe of the evening.
Who was it? It was with the La La Land. It was Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway.
Oh,
right?
yeah, who announced the wrong movie.
The wrong movie.
Mm-hmm. Well,
this is right up there.
It's close.
Her Adele Dazeem moment.
Yeah.
That one is so funny, though.
It really is.
She says it so confidently.
And with that one, I think that, even Idina Menzel, she embraces it as well, and it's kind of been a joke all the way around.
The wickedly talented.
It's really
Adele
good.
Dazeem.
So a bunch of ridiculous cold weather car hacks are going viral, and I wanted to walk you through what you should do and what you should avoid doing. I've never heard of this one, but apparently they say try it. Filling a sock with cat litter to stop foggy windows. A silica-based cat litter draws moisture from the air, which can help you keep your windows fog-free from the inside.
I got to tell you, we had a car. It was a Volvo S40.
Is this one that had the window that wouldn't roll up, or there was some...
There was a leak in the car, and it would... there was so much moisture inside the car that the windows would freeze on the inside.
Yeah.
And I have to scrape the inside of the window. So for a long time, I was buying those damp rid buckets.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you said that because for the first time, one of our friends, Missy, the referee, she brought one of those damp rid little hanger things for our trip to Mexico. I will never go to Mexico again without one. It took all of that moisture. You know how all of a sudden you kind of slip on the floor?
I mean, the floors are wet.
Yeah, or what your clothes kind of smell that mildewy.
Oh, yeah,
kinda,
yeah.
None of it. None of it. And actually the bag was had 3 or 4 inches of water in it by the end of the week.
It did?
Yes.
That's wild.
My sister's going to Mexico next month, and I'm like, you have to take one of these.
Bring
so
one of
anyway,
these.
you would put it in your car. I'm sorry.
Put it in a car to try to suck that moisture out of it. And the buckets, what do you think's in the buckets? It's just kitty litter or whatever.
So did it work?
I mean, no.
Okay.
I mean, it did something, I'm sure. But.
Well, here's one they say to avoid. You're just wasting your time. I don't know if I've ever even heard of this. Rubbing potatoes on your windshield to prevent frost. It's been a viral myth for a while. The starch might delay ice slightly, but it leaves a sticky film that's worse to clean than plain ice. So avoid that one. It might look silly, but they say try this one, covering your side mirrors with socks overnight, or maybe a stocking cap. They say putting socks or small plastic bags over your side mirror stops frost from forming overnight and saves time scraping in the morning.
Have you done any of these? The neighbor next door to us always throws the big cardboard.
Yeah, we have a neighbor that does the same. We're very lucky. We fit both cars in the garage,
yeah.
so we don't have to deal with it.
She's
now,
reading tips for other people.
No, because I have done a couple of these in the RV.
Okay. All right.
Years
what cold
ago,
weather places have you been to in the RV?
Well, this was...
you normally go down. You never go up.
No, but we were going to Florida several years ago, probably 9 years ago. And it was an ice storm in December. And so we were actually going to a cousin's wedding in Cape Girardeau and then heading out to go to Florida the next day.
Caught in the ice storm.
And we got caught in Cape Girardeau, and so much so that I couldn't get the electric cord out of the RV where we plugged in to have electricity.
Oh, wow.
So what do? Well, we're camping, and so we decided I boiled water in the coffee maker and then poured the hot water
on the electric outlet?
On the door of it to then be able to get it to open.
Okay.
So that we could do that. Now, this is what it says, pouring boiling water on a frozen windshield? No.
Yeah.
It's going all over TikTok, but of course the extreme temperature shift can shatter your windshield. Now, if you're wanting to do it on doors, on the locks, I've done that and it does work. And then this one I've never heard of, but they say try it using hand sanitizer to unfreeze your door locks. In a pinch, hand sanitizer can help thaw frozen locks due to its alcohol content, which then will help melt the ice.
So I went and I bought 2 big jugs of the washer fluid. Because you always seem to run out. You always run out this time of year.
Look at you, adulting.
So I put it in my car, and then I brought one home, and I put it in my wife's car. I had a little left over. I offered it to Connor, and he said, no, thank you. So
I was like, what was I supposed to do with,
I hope you're driving down
a few
270.
drops of windshield wiper fluid.
And your whole windshield gets caked in something.
Ugh. Well, if it's already frozen, I had issues the other day where it was frozen. It couldn't get through the ice to hit my windshield.
But my car is 2017.
Yeah.
What is it? We're going on 8 years now. And
9.
We're going on 9 years. Thank you, Connor. And the whole back half of the car seems to have lost power. I can't get the back wiper to go down. I can't get the fluid to go down. So I've been pulling. And the window drops all the way down. I should try that and just see if there's a fuse.
That'll do it.
Because if that doesn't work too, then the whole back half seems to be out of power. But I've had to stop off every morning and just wash the back window because I can't get the water to. I thought at first my wiper was frozen in there.
And that's not it.
That is not.
You need to do that every day.
Well,
you need to clean the back window.
Hey,
what are you driving through the mud to get here?
You never want to be caught without having any of your windows.
Well, and especially if you have a precious cargo in there.
Yeah, I got precious cargo.
That's what the car seat is for.
Connor, you got a lot of Dogtown pizzas back there. Right. Speaking of your car, I got to ask you this. I wrote this down, taking Finn to school today. I wrote this down to ask you guys, ask the listeners. somebody was driving my direction and flashed the lights at me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I immediately start looking around.
For a cop?
For a cop.
And then I
see him pull out. You know, he's just driving down the street. It wasn't a speed trap. It wasn't, this and that. But I started thinking, do I flash my lights at people?
I have.
Do you, but like rule of thumb? Is it just situational? Is it whenever you're thinking about it? Like if it's a full-on speed trap and there's a guy, in the median of the highway,
sometimes
maybe I do it.
Your app will tell you speed trap ahead if you're using a
like
Waze or Google Maps. Maybe I don't know which one it is.
And this is an old wives' tale. Is it illegal to warn? Like, a cop pulled me over and told me I wasn't allowed to do that.
Your brother's a cop. What's he say?
Maybe I'll text him.
Which law would that be breaking?
I don't know. The law of, hey, don't tell people I'm hiding behind this billboard.
Oh, okay. I think we got to get Greg Willard on to discuss why that's not constitutionally allowed to.
I told you it was an old wives' tale, but do you flash your lights?
I didn't even know that was what that meant. If someone flashed their lights at me, I would assume like I had the parking light on or like I was dragging something behind me.
Really?
I don't think that survived to the next generation, unfortunately.
Really? Well,
yeah.
you know what? Probably because you didn't live in the day of Fuzzbusters either.
Oh my gosh!
How
the
many people?
Fuzzbuster.
Right? Did you have one?
No, my brother did.
Yeah.
No, people. I was definitely during my time.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was so stupid. How often did those things ever actually catch a cop around, though?
I think it went off quite a bit. I don't know if it
went off, but was it?
Well, then you slow down.
When you pass a bank and it's going off because of the bank security. It's like, does this thing even work?
Somebody said they flash their lights when they don't have their lights on.
Right, that's kind of what I would expect.
That's
what
another
I'm
one.
expecting.
That's universal, but the flashing the lights for the police,
No,
that's the
I
thing.
would never.
You've never heard that.
Yeah.
No.
I still do it.
You do it.
So I guess if I'm doing it towards Connor or someone his age, they have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, ask your niece and nephew. They're both drivers now.
Yeah, I will.
Have they heard of this?
And if there's
I'd be
police
surprised.
listening,
Somebody just said I did it yesterday.
if the police are listening, Heidi does it.
I do.
So go get her.
Somebody says, ask Josh if he checked his fuse. It's probably the fuse he can go to an auto store, O'Reilly's, and they'll do it for him. Bless his heart.
Oh, you come over here and do it. We'll go together.
I think it's cute. Somebody said bless his heart, and then somebody told me not to reprimand you, that it's emasculating. And I said, I don't feel like I...
Was that Josh texting that?
No,
reprimanded.
that is not my phone number. But
I just disagree with him occasionally.
For the listeners, there is no such thing as emasculating me. There's nothing there to emasculate.
There's no lower to go.
No. I'm out of masculation. Paul, is anybody flashing their lights out there? Can you believe Connor's never heard this before?
Yeah, I have done it and have seen it. So
Yeah, so it's a thing.
it's definitely a thing. And the roads are looking good right now. They're not a bad thing at all. There's a stalled vehicle on 364 West past Bennington. 64 West is crowded in front of Forest Park, and 64 East bogs down briefly at 170. This traffic report is brought to you by the HBR Home Expo. Get ready for the biggest home expo of the season. The HBR Home Expo is happening February 27th, 28th, and March 1st. Free admission, free parking, pet adoptions, over 180 booths, and a massive $30,000 in prizes. Don't miss the HBR Home Expo. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, you guys have been hearing me talk about this trip to Iceland. We just announced it probably a month ago. And I know it's cold and you're thinking Iceland. But at this point, it's going to be in October. We're going to get through a probably miserable St. Louis summer. You're going to be so hot. You're going to look forward to actually getting into the Blue Lagoon, those warm waters, or maybe seeing the Northern Lights. How cool is that? I mean, I know that's on a lot of people's bucket list, but we have made a couple of changes. We're going to leave a day earlier. We're going to leave October 23rd and journey in search of Iceland's magical Northern Lights. And we're doing it all with Colette, which it makes it so easy because Colette handles everything the flights, the meals, the hotels, the local experiences. I mean, your job really is just to have as much fun as possible, and I'll be there to make sure that is happening. I mean, not only will we go in search of the Northern Lights, you've got the glacier sculpted mountains and valleys, which if you've never seen pictures, I beg you to go look at it. I mean, when I've talked to different people who have gone, they've said they can't believe they waited this long to go to Iceland because it's just a whole nother world. They felt like it was like being on the moon, that everything is just so different. So if you want to learn more, you can join me, meet the folks from Colette to learn more Wednesday, February 11th. That's coming up pretty quickly. We're going to meet at Altair. They have a really cool kind of living room. And so, we'll do that at 6 o'clock. You can RSVP by calling Altair at 314-968-9600. You can also go to our website, KTRS.com, to learn more. But I can promise you one thing, and I think if you talk to anybody who went to Costa Rica, it is going to be a good time. And you might go alone, but you're coming back with a whole bunch of new friends. So call Altair Travel, 314-968-9600.
With over 30 years of experience in top-quality senior living, McKnight Place Assisted Living knows how to help its residents live fulfilling lives. The professional staff gets to know all residents and their families. McKnight Place Assisted Living has become known for its high-quality amenities, personalized services, and expert care. But its history of making people a priority is what really sets it apart from many other senior communities. That starts with the residents and extends to their loved ones. 314-993-3333 or visit them at mcknightplace.com.
Stay connected with the Big 550 KTRS, streaming 24/7 online at KTRS.com or on the KTRS app. Powered by JBL Financial. Stream Straight Talk on Retirement every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. When you send a text to the Big 550, do you wonder if we see all of them? Of course we do. We do pay attention and love your interaction on the Big 550 text line at 84126. Don't like something? Love something? Just let us know. Thanks for being a part of the KTRS family. And keep the text coming. We are the Big 550, the talk and text of St. Louis.
Chick-fil-A's new frosted sodas and floats, it's a 10 out of 10. Hey, this is Lizzie, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats is how well they go together. You will love having your favorite soda blended with our creamy ice stream to make a new frosted soda or float. With the mix of the ice stream and soda fizz, it's so delicious, I call it Fizzalicious.
Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Everyone's talking about these weight loss drugs, and it's a good thing we've got Dr. Joe Molesky with us, a St. Louis native and board-certified primary care physician. Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
The magic cure is these weight loss shots. They're injected once weekly. They're not like the old medications that you've seen 20, 30 years ago. These medications actually work. They're injected once weekly, and patients see within the first 90 days 10 to 15 pounds down. It simply works, and that's why I recommend it to all of my patients. You simply go online, book an appointment. You fill out a health questionnaire form. You get an appointment on our schedule. It's all telemedicine based. It's all done from your home. And then you meet with me or one of my nurse practitioners. And then after the 10, 15-minute consult, the medication is delivered right to your door discreetly, and you get started right now on your weight loss journey.
And you want to start to lose weight? None better than to call stlmedweightloss.com and ask Dr. Joe. stlmedweightloss.com.
Looking for a great local restaurant recommendation? Feed me Seymour. Tune in to the Kuno Food Service weekly special during the Frank and Jill Show, Thursdays at 11.
Hear from the best of the best restaurant owners in town.
Only on the Frank and Jill Show, Thursdays at 11. Presented by Kuno Food Service, right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Well, let's do a little entertainment news. The Grammys were last night. Did you guys watch?
I watched up until about 9:30.
Okay.
But I didn't. It just kept going, didn't it?
It went to like 10:30,
Yeah.
I think. I missed the beginning, but I have to go back and watch because I missed Sabrina Carpenter. But
Bruno Mars performed twice.
Yeah.
2 separate times.
which is pretty good.
Really?
Which
like back to back, or did he
No,
go
later.
in and then come back out?
He opened the show with Apatip
Yeah. What does that mean?
Apartment.
Huh.
And then he came back probably an hour and a half later.
Mhm.
Okay.
With his other band.
Yeah. The big winner, album of the year, went to Bad Bunny, which everybody went crazy about.
I don't want to sound like, I don't care if he's performing. I don't think I've ever heard one of his songs.
I think you have, and you just don't know it.
I've seen
Because I
him-
feel the same way, but I think you probably do know more than you think you do.
I've seen him on SNL multiple times.
Mhm. He seems like a good guy,
Yeah.
too. Record of the year went to Luther, Kendrick Lamar, and SZA. Song of the year went to Billie Eilish, Wildflower, and then Best New Artist, Olivia Dean, which she was so precious. But most people are talking about Cher, who got a bit confused. She came out near the end of the show and was given a Lifetime Achievement Grammy, which they didn't really make that clear at first. I thought she was just coming out to,
Somebody said they sprung it on her.
Yeah,
It was like a surprise.
which makes more sense.
Do not give someone a surprise Lifetime Grammy.
No, allow them to kind of
Write
put
a little
something
speech.
together. So anyway, she comes out and she kind of is near the end, and she's doing her things, doing a few thank yous. But then she was supposed to introduce the nominees for Record of the Year after she gave this great speech about, perseverance and being on both the top and the bottom in her career. She starts to walk off stage, and then Trevor Noah, the host, has to kind of call her back and say, hey, the nominees. And so she comes back, and then when she announces the winner, she kind of stood there for a second, awkward silence, envelope in hand, because she thought the name was just going to show up in the teleprompter. So then all of a sudden she opens it and she reads it, and she says Luther Vandross instead of Luther the song, Kendrick Lamar and SZA. Now, here's what I love about SZA said, look, she probably really knew Luther Vandross, and like that immediately just
The
came to her
song
mind. And it does
samples him.
That's right.
And it's named after him on some level.
Yeah. And what I also like, as much as they are in the spotlight and as much as they perform, they too get nervous, especially in different situations, reading a teleprompter or, all of it. So
How
anyway.
old is Cher now?
79.
I think so.
What was she wearing? I didn't see it.
Oh, it was a cool Cher
Something-
outfit.
Something Bob Mackie, something.
Highlights for me included Post Malone doing an all-star tribute to Ozzy Osbourne, Lauryn Hill, and I saw she made the #1 on a lot of lists. She showed up on time, which is kind of shocking. Isn't she notorious for
For being late.
way late? She led an all-star tribute to D'Angelo and Roberta Flack, and it did seem to go on for a while. It was more than 11 minutes, but you know what? You're honoring two greats, and she did it really well. Reba, Brandy Clark, who we've had on the show. Lucas Nelson did a tribute to other artists we lost this year, and it was a great one as well. Justin Bieber, did you see him?
I did not.
Okay, he
I saw him in the
performed
crowd.
nothing but his boxers
Oh, that
and
was
socks.
okay. I saw that picture.
Yeah.
He was playing guitar.
He was playing guitar, and he had I don't know what that machine is called, where you kind of loop in sounds.
Yeah, the little
and it was
box.
just him. So I thought it was pretty interesting.
I like his song Daisies.
Yeah, I like a lot of his music.
In Georgia, you got some peaches down in Georgia.
Yeah. One final note, it wasn't shown on TV, but Steven Spielberg earned an EGOT. He won a Grammy for producing the documentary Music by John Williams. So he now is in that select club.
Yeah, I don't care for that though.
I mean,
there's so many categories. It just is like if he had one for spoken word.
Yeah,
this is my thing.
It still is a category.
I know it counts. It all counts.
And
reading your book on tape gets you a Grammy.
Right.
I don't think that. I think that should be in a different award show.
Yeah.
Is it fair? Is it fair?
I think it's fair.
Okay,
that's what I would.
It's your take.
What I thought was interesting was pointing at people in the crowd. You know, in the background, Trevor Noah's telling very terrible jokes. This is his last thing, and they said, "Why is his last year?" I said, "Because he's not famous anymore."
Yeah,
he's not on the Daily Show
he
anymore.
He wasn't really famous before either.
Well, at least he had a nightly show that he was hosting. But it was interesting to see who was sitting with whom.
Yeah, I think that's always
and
interesting.
I was wondering, did they put these two together? Because like Tyler, the creator, was sitting with this old
His
white.
performance was great too.
This old white man, and I'm like, do they know each other, or did they just get there, or is this,
Can you request to be next to somebody?
Can you move me?
Yeah.
Can I not sit behind Jamie Foxx and his
that
giant hat?
Was he trying to be Pharrell? What was that?
Yeah, it is a very Pharrell.
Pharrell got his award. That was cool.
Were there any country recipients? Heidi?
Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll.
He had
the only one.
Big speech that really. I mean, he feels like he's a preacher at certain times, but that was really.
Trevor Noah.
Mm-hmm.
This was a funny joke, and it did seem off the cuff. Jelly Roll was sitting next to Teddy Swims. And they look a lot alike.
A lot with all their face tattoos.
They sound like a little bit alike.
And they sound a lot alike. And he said, "Teddy, give Jelly Roll your phone and see if Apple will think it's you.
And see if it will
open up."
That's good.
It was a funny joke.
Yeah.
And then my wife said, for all the best new artists,
they did a whole.
They let all 6 of them.
And that was pretty cool too.
Perform their entire songs.
I did see Alex Warren. When you see them pull out one ear, and then the other,
monitor.
and I guess his was all messed up.
So messed up, but he caught back up.
He caught back up, but there you are. I mean, talk about being nervous. There you are on music's biggest stage. This is the first time you're performing in front of all of these people, and the audio kind of gets messed up. I feel for him on that one.
Yeah, he was off with the background singers for
Yeah.
just a second. It's at the Staples Center where the Lakers play, so I wonder up in the cheap seats if just regular, like you and me, could go.
Oh, I think you can.
If we got our hands on some tickets.
I had friends that went several years ago when they were doing remember when they married a bunch of people? Do you remember that?
On stage?
No, in the crowd they did something. I don't remember what it was, but they were there for that. Not all songs are perfect, but sticking with the music theme, a few have actually left mistakes in. I did not realize this, but Hey Jude, do you know this story? The Beatles? There is a F word in the song that not everybody knows about. When they were recording it, Paul McCartney played the wrong chord on his piano and says,
No.
and apparently they were feeling playful that day because they kept it in. It's barely audible, but if you listen for it, you can hear it.
I'll put headphones on.
Yeah, and see if you can hear it.
Yeah.
Roxanne by the Police. Right at the beginning of the song, you hear a random piano chord followed by some laughing. It happened when Sting went to sit on the piano in the studio thinking the lid was down, but
And
it
he
wasn't.
sat on the...
Yeah. And it's kind of the sound that he made sitting on it and the laughter, so they left it.
Well,
And then,
I like that the Beatles anthology, when that came out in the late 90s, the Police left it in. The Beatles on Hey Jude left it in, but you hear all the outtakes and people laughing, and it's fun, you know? They're real people.
well, and it's kind of like why I loved Behind the Music, or when they share some of those stories about what was happening, or why they.
Storytellers is a great show.
Sweet Emotion, the Aerosmith song, the intro to the song contains a rattling noise that was achieved by Steven Tyler playing something called a vibroslap, and he hits it 3 times, but on the 4th, it makes like a single sad clink. and because it broke.
It broke.
And they just decided to go with it. It
Leave it
doesn't
in
take
there?
anything away from the song, so they left it.
The vibra-slap is that instrument you hear in all the cake songs.
Oh, okay.
Kind of.
Yeah. Fun. Blake Shelton just added more Vegas shows to his schedule, but the fun part, some of them go head-to-head with his wife, Gwen Stefani. He says that she'll need to be ready for some trash talking at home. Who sold out more? Whose tickets are selling better? I don't know.
More expensive tickets.
Yeah, that too. Molly Ringwald says the classic John Hughes teen movies should not be remade and that he didn't want them to be remade either. I agree with that. Leave them. Leave them.
Have they done it? 16 Candles.
Have they redone it?
Pretty in Pink, Breakfast Club.
I
They
don't
haven't
think-
touched them
No, and I agree. I don't think they should. If you're looking for things to watch tonight, you've got American Idol, the auditions, and then the Super Bowl greatest commercials, which is always kind of fun. That's on CBS.
yet. Now, I'll watch the old commercials,
Yeah.
but darn it, do not show me the new ones.
I know. I was complaining about this with a friend. Like I'm with you on
you
this.
agree with me?
I do. I get why they want to get the most bang for their buck, but I think do it after the Super Bowl, not before.
And they're really running a long game on this. It's the tax or the State Farm or whatever. It's got Danny McBride and the guy from Key and Peele.
Keegan-Michael Key.
Keegan-Michael Key, and they're doing this fake insurance company.
Yeah.
It was like Almost There Insurance.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
And they're just, they started during, the last football game, which was 2 weeks ago. And they're running this long run up to whatever they're doing.
They're teasing the commercial.
Yeah.
It's like a 3-week tease.
They're doing media appearances together.
Wow.
As those people?
For the commercial.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess they are getting the biggest bang for their buck. A couple birthdays today. Paul Mescal is
29.
close, 30. Shakira.
Shakira's birthday?
Mm-hmm.
She is 49.
Yes. Did you hear these already?
No.
Christy Brinkley.
Oh, my goodness. She still looks so great.
Yes, she does.
63?
She'd be very happy with that answer. 72.
Wow.
And then Graham Nash.
Graham Nash is 81.
84. That is your evening entertainment report here on the Big 550 KTRS. All right, it's 5:49. Let's get one final check of traffic on this Monday afternoon with Captain Paul.
Heidi, the roads are quiet right now, just not much happening out there. 64 West is a little slow in front of Forest Park, and we have a stalled vehicle on 364 West past Bennington. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, so my brother is a police officer, and he says it is legal to have a radar detector in your car.
It is.
As Heidi called it, the fuzz detector, the fuzz buster.
After I said that, I'm like, is that a proper term?
Does anyone even have those anymore?
Like, is that what they sold it as, the Fuzz Buster, or was there
I'm
a
sure
technical
there was
name?
another name for it.
Well, it's a radar detector, but they
Yeah.
sold it to try to, you put it in your car and you could tell.
I
if
had
the
one
cops,
for a second going back and forth to college.
Could you read them? They were like green and red
Yeah,
and
that's-
yellow. And somebody on the text line said that my brother-in-law called them Schnooks detectors because every time you drive past the Schnooks, they'd go off for some reason. But then my brother also said when you flash your lights at police to warn about police, he said that's not illegal either. Flashing your lights is protected under freedom of speech.
Oh, well, looky there.
That's why I said we need, if you're questioning it, go ahead and get Greg Willard in.
Yeah, so when you get pulled over, just yell at the cop about your constitutional right. Do not do that.
I was going to say, don't yell.
Do not do that.
With you.
All right. What you should do, though, is you should call Capital Advisory Group, 636-394-5524. Tax season is in full swing. Make sure you have all your documents. I went to the mailroom yesterday and got 2 more documents. What if I tried to do my taxes on Monday and then now I'm still getting documents? Well, you're going to have problems. So don't try to do your taxes too early because something might...
No worries.
Yeah, right, exactly. Something might come in March 1st. And, if the government has a copy of this and you didn't tell them about it, well, you're going to have a problem. So have Jeff do your taxes for you. 636-394-5524, Capital Advisory, GRP.com. They're on Clarkson Road across the street from the library. And I think there's a Chick-fil-A right there, too. basically Clarkson and Clayton Road. Go in and see Jeff Zufall, 636-394-5524.
The Big 550 wants you to know that when it comes to local news, KTRS is committed to keeping you informed with all the local news going on.
I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Jill Enters, KTRS News.
With KTRS News, I'm Steve Potter.
This is KTRS News, I'm Soapy Bay.
And when it comes to national and world news, the Big 550 has the resources and backing of ABC News.
I'm Sherry Preston from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen.
Delivering what you need to know and keep informed. We are the talk of St. Louis, the Big 550, KTRS. KTRS.
Elevate your home with stunning lighting from Metro Lighting.
Shopping for a gorgeous chandelier for your dining room?
Need a new table lamp?
Or lighting your entire dream home?
Our certified lighting specialists are here to help.
Locally owned with 6 convenient locations.
An amazing selection of lighting for any style and budget.
And all at the guaranteed best price.
And did you know?
Metro Lighting is a great source for furniture, art, and home decor too.
Metro Lighting.
Full of bright ideas for your home.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document you could ever have.
The Premier Income and Estate Planning Show, this Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Attention KTRS listeners, Appliance Discounters has a deal for you. Shop now and receive an instant 5% rebate off your next appliance purchase. 5% instant savings off their already low prices. And you can receive other factory rebates, some up to $1,500 direct from the manufacturer. Huge savings, locally owned, next day delivery, 18 months interest-free financing. Appliance Discounters with 6 area locations or online at theappliancediscounters.com.
Kuna Food Service has been the trusted food supplier in the Midwest since 1918. For over 100 years, Kuna Food Service has been distributing the highest quality food products to some of your favorite restaurants while delivering superior customer service. When a restaurant puts their trust in Kuna Food Service, they get a team that truly cares about their success. That's why at Kuna, they like to say, they're big enough to handle it, yet small enough to care. Check them out online at kunafoodservice.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
I want to say thank you to all the people who are tuning in to our YouTube broadcast, because we've got like 22 eyes on us. They're probably going to compliment your shirt. It's a good shirt.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, luckily for me, I fixed my hair today.
Well, I didn't. Let's wrap this show up with some randoms.
For the first 30 years of TV broadcasting in India, there was only one channel.
Oh, my goodness.
It was established by the government and at times was criticized for being used to disseminate government propaganda. It lasted until 1991.
Whoa.
So imagine you're watching Full House or Home Improvement or Roseanne, and over in India, people are like, can we please get more than one channel?
Yeah, but the ratings were great.
Yeah.
We got 6 billion people here. Can we get more than just one? The hashtag symbol is technically called an octothorpe.
An octothorpe. I'm going to drop that knowledge on somebody.
Octo means 8, obviously, and there's 8 points. 1, 2,
Yes.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then thorpe is an old English word for a village because it looks like a village surrounded by 8 fields.
Sure.
Go with it.
Okay.
Some cats have a human allergy. If you think your cat's allergic to you, chances are, though, it's very rare. They're probably allergic to something you're wearing.
Or dust. I've heard dust is very
Cats
common.
are allergic to dust?
Yeah.
It's just Josh.
So am I. That's my feline side. And the crown jewels contain the 2 biggest cut diamonds on Earth. They both came from the Cullinan diamond, a 3,000 carat gem found in South Africa in 1905.
Wow.
I watched a documentary on the crown jewels. It's fascinating, but how they got those diamonds, well, you want to talk about illegal.
You guys, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Hope you have a wonderful night, and hopefully you'll meet us back here tomorrow starting at 3 o'clock. Until then, see if you can put a smile on somebody's face.
I'm Jason Quillman, owner and founder of Window Depot USA of St. Louis. You don't replace your windows and doors every day, so when you